Taking a look back at the last 7 rounds out of 8, the championship has just been wide open from day dot.
BlackArts started with a bang, Josh Perwin and Luke Bannister.
Mohammed Ibrahim looked like he was going to race away with things with the fast start that he made.
Season 1 champion Ali Hamilton also there.
He started slow but came strong as the season progressed.
So Ibrahim very much the man of the first part of the season. Josh Perwin coming through in the middle part of the season. Mohammed Ali Hamilton coming up really fast at the latter stage of the season.
So last round in Monza.
Monza was interesting.
Wasn't that a lot of fun?
Ibrahim, after a couple of rounds where he had a trial by fire, in fact the winning ways, by winning the second race at Monza.
And then of course, Josh Perwin.
He finished 13th in that first race and 14th in the second.
So I'm a bit disappointed because I've been taken out in 6th and 7th round. It could have been a lot better, unfortunately.
Nakid wasn't the fastest driver in round 7, but he was the smartest driver. The way he played out the tactics of the slipstreams, making race 1 and second race 2.
Last round was a really good one, especially for us as well as a team, scoring a lot of points. Really happy with it.
And Inigo Anton, as always, was very quick. His qualifying was good, but he's up against some really high-class competition.
He got the lead at the first lap, but fell down due to collisions. With a good recovery drive, I was able to finish P3 at the end.
7 rounds down, 1 round to go.
Silverstone, it's a driver's track.
Double points. Who's going to win?
You can have one lousy round and still be in contention going into the title.
128 points on offer. Anyone in the top 9 can win the championship.
We're going to keep our head down race on race. Hopefully come away with a podium.
Just stay out of trouble, and hopefully it can bring us up in the standings.
Head out with a bang, results-wise, not a bang on track itself.
Be more aggressive and shine, see if we can get P3.
I'll definitely push as much as I can and hopefully finish as high as I can.
I feel like we're going to win it. I'm only like 50 points behind Ibrahim. It's definitely all to play for.
There is a very good opportunity to steal the championship away. I mean, the goal is to win.
I want to be leading as drivers champion, and in the team's championship we want to make sure we consolidate P2.
I'm expecting a very, very tough race.
It's going to be super close, and with double points, anything can happen. Hello and welcome to the grand finale of Season 2 of the E1 Championship Round 8, with all of the action brought to you by our sponsors, Eva Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage. Make sure you check out the website to see how you can get up to 40% off your next car insurance renewal. My name is Daniel Woodruff, I'm your host for this evening, and with me is our E1 race director, Alex Young, and with us in the commentary box, as always, is Amir Hazik. And alongside him, back with us, is Des Corkill. Welcome back, Des.
Delighted to be back.
All right, so 8 circuits, 7 countries, 11 weeks, and 15 races. This is what has made up Season 2 of the E1 Championship so far. And we are finally at our last round at Silverstone in the UK, and one step closer to crowning our Season 2 champion. Alex, you are the creator of this show. You curate everything that happens. How has Season 2 come up to your standards so far?
It's been great, hasn't it? It's been so close, you know, like we were talking about in the earlier parts of the program, how it just kind of ebbed and flowed. You know, Ibrahim at the front, you know, strong, and then Josh Perwin super consistent in the middle, and then Muhammad Ali coming strong at the very end. So it's very close. I can't believe it. You know, there's 118 points up for grab, 118 points, but the top 3 are only separated by 30 points. So anything can happen.
That's right, anything can happen. Amir, from the driver's perspective, what has been your highlight of Season 2?
Daniel, what I can say is, one of the big highlights has been the Indianapolis Oval. I was looking forward to that when I saw the schedule come out the first time, and I wasn't disappointed. It was an absolutely thrilling race, so for me, that was the highlight of the season. The Indianapolis 250, shall we say.
Indeed it was for me as well. And Des, you're finally back with us in the studio, and I know you love your overtaking. What can we expect from tonight's finale?
Well, I think it's going to be a real pressure cooker for some of the young racers, because there's a lot of money up for grabs, and a lot of points up for grabs. This double points really does change the whole momentum. 118 points is a huge amount, so I'm expecting quite a few changes, and he who can keep his nerves will have the best chance.
So our last race was at the Monza Combined Circuit in Italy. Our drivers were slip sliding in the Lotus 49 and they were trying to battle it out for as many points as possible. It was the second last round of the championship. Let's go and take a look at the highlights from a very hectic round 7.
We're underway here at Monza, and that's a good start there from Inigo Anton. Oh, big accident, put it back. Nakib is going to take the lead away from Bannister. Nakib Aslan has a 1.4 second lead at the front of the field.
Going to keep their slots back in the second position. Both of them ran wide. Perwin is out of the race. Nakib Aslan, he slipstreamed through the second corner.
Oh, Nasty locks up, and that Bannister goes up as well. Nakib is on his way to taking his second victory of the season. That's a good start there from Dominic Ang. Oh, that's a big accident already, and Garrido's out. Perwin's out of the race.
Whoa, who's that? Oh, 32.
Oh, the car's flipped over and put it behind. There's more mayhem. Oh, there's a spin. Alif has been spun around, and oh, he's actually flipped it over the sausage.
Mohammed Ibrahim, if he can finish in the top 3, he's definitely going to be leading this championship.
Josh Thomas is in the lead.
Ibrahim's getting a good run on all of them, and he's going to end up in P2. Ibrahim leads for the first time.
As Nakib now goes around the outside and takes second place. As Thomas goes around the outside, coming to the Parabolica, and he's off onto the escape road. Ibrahim comes across the line and takes victory.
And that was a lot of fun. Luke Bannister was quickest in qualification. The first time Ibrahim's been out of the fastest in qualification. Nakib Aslan taking P1 in race 1, just ahead of Bannister. Inigo Anton, a very good P3. In race 2, though, Mohammed Ibrahim coming good once again. 25 points for him. Nakib, a good weekend for Nakib. Puts him into contention. Josh Thomas, a good P3 for Safehouse. So for the weekend, the points, the combined points, 47 for Nakib, 38 for Mohammed Ibrahim, Luke Bannister with 32, Josh Thomas with 26, but it was a disastrous week for Josh Perwin. In the overall standings, Mohammed Ibrahim, top of the pile, 230 points, 223 for Josh Perwin. This is before we took the lowest round away. Now we've taken the lowest round away, and the lead is 12 points between Ibrahim and Josh Perwin, just 30 between Ibrahim and Mohammed Ali. In the team championship, Flash are running away with it. Ibrahim and Alif have been superb. There is an outside chance of BlackArts Racing pulling something out of the bag, but consolidating P2 is probably for them. The real interest in P3, Safehouse, Stratos, and to a lesser extent BlackWolf, all in that battle for P3 and the cash prize.
Thank you, Des. We just saw our top 10 there. Alex, let's take a look at our top 5. I want to pull up a scorecard and show you the composition of each of our drivers' performances throughout the season so far to show you how they got there. And Alex, what this is showing me is that there is no single way to be in the top 5 in motorsports. I mean, how Ibrahim got to P1 with Josh Perwin only 12 points away has been completely different. And in fact, Josh has had the most number of podiums of any driver in the championship so far with 10, but Mohammed Ibrahim's only had 7 and he's leading the championship.
Yeah, I mean, Ibrahim's the foundation of his championship charge has been his qualifyings, his race 1 wins, his pace. Just slipped up a bit in race 2. Round 6 also didn't go well for him, where he didn't score any points. And it's still really close, you know. The way Alif and Nakib in P3 and P4 have improved as the season has come on, and they've closed that gap to the top 2 has been impressive to watch as well.
That's right, Josh showing us that consistency is key, but with Nakib, not as many race wins or podiums as he may have wanted this season, but he has still come away with 2 overall round wins, despite having a very tough start to the season. And that just really shows that team strategy and playing smart. I mean, he's walked away with some very smart race wins in both Indianapolis and Monza. I mean, that's very important.
Yeah, and I think that also illustrates because those 2 races were fixed setup. They were different cars and they were fixed setup, so it was all down to the drivers. I think his experience with the Delara IR01, which we've run at the other races, you know, where it's not a fixed setup and you have to adjust the setup and tune it. You know, he's a bit inexperienced with the game, and that's where you can see he's fallen a little bit further behind from the others.
Now, let's take a look further down the grid. Now, remember, we have 118 points on offer tonight with double points, which means our top 9 are in with a theoretical chance of winning the championship tonight. Sorry to Dominic Ang and Stratos, you're left out of that potential contention. But that means Kalen Chin, Miko Nasi, Josh Thomas, and Inigo Anton are in a real running for the win. But I'm going to throw this question over to you, Des. Despite this technical chance, I know you're a fan of Inigo Anton. Do you think that he does realistically have a chance tonight in Silverstone?
In a word, no. But there is a chance of maybe getting in a P3, a P4 or P5 in the overall championship standings because there's so many points available. So don't write them off. And there's decent cash prize money for P4 and 5 as well, $500. So Kalen and Miko and Josh Thomas on debut, they'll be looking to pick up cash prize as well. So don't write them out, but I think top 3 is too much.
And very quickly, Amo, top 5, 6, 7, and 8, only separated by 17 points. Who's going to walk away best of the rest?
Bannister, to be honest, because he is also having a very good outside chance of overhauling the top 3, but a bridge too far for the win, for sure. But I think Bannister, of all these guys on the screen right now, the 5 of them, he has the best chance. Kalen, I would say second best.
All right, well, thank you for your insight, gentlemen. Only time will tell as to who will come out on top and walk away with a bit more cash prize money than his competitors. So tonight we head to the final race of the season. As you can see, Silverstone in the UK, a true driver's track and a legendary one on the Formula One circuit as well. And before we get into tonight's action, let's hand it over to Amanda to walk us through tonight's race rules and format.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Amanda Andrea, and welcome to the grand finale of E1 Championship Season 2, Asia Pacific's most premier sim racing championship. Wow, it's the finals, and over the course of the season, we have seen our teams and drivers test their abilities in 7 remarkable circuits. The intense and heated battles continue over onto the final round. The grand finale of E1 Championship Season 2 will be taking us to the birthplace of Formula One, Silverstone, Northamptonshire, United Kingdom. Home of British motorsport, Silverstone hosted the first World Championship race in 1950, and it is one of the oldest, fastest, and most formidable circuits in the world. This legendary circuit back then featured just 8 corners, while the modern circuit is 5.89 kilometers long and now boasts 18 turns. Silverstone stands apart from many other circuits with its speed through the corners and straights taken at full throttle, giving this track a difficulty of 8 out of 10. Over the decades, tweaks and shifts were made in an effort to reduce speed and increase safety. Despite these changes, the characteristics of almost all the corners remain the same till this day. Just last year in 2020, Max Verstappen set the fastest lap record when he crossed the line at 1 minute and 27.097 seconds. At the start of the season, we saw teams getting used to the newly introduced Dallara IR01. After 7 rounds of racing, we'll be coming full circle today as drivers will finish the season in this Italian beauty. Blending modern aerodynamics with classic functions, it derives its 900 horsepower from a 3-liter B10 engine reminiscent of the ones used throughout the early 2000s. The result is the ultimate blend of the sport's past, present, and future, and of course, a uniquely fun yet challenging car to master. Keeping in line with the E1 traditions, drivers and teams get to compete for double points in the grand finale. We will begin with a 10-minute qualifying session to determine grid positions, followed by a 15-minute sprint race and a 30-minute reverse grid race. Double points will be given from qualifying to the last race of the season, along with the fastest lap. Top 5 from the qualifying will earn points from 10 down to 2. Top 15 from races 1 and 2 will earn points from 50 down to 2. An extra 4 points will also be given to drivers with the fastest lap in race 1 and race 2. Depending on the winner today, we might even see shifts in the team and driver standings. The battle for a grand total of $16,000 is coming down to the wire. points won today might be the catalyst for certain teams to be crowned as champions. The winning team and driver will win $4,000 and E1 Championship's first ever trophy. The first, second, and third and fourth runner-up for both teams and driver divisions will also be awarded accordingly. Only one driver will emerge as champion. With that said, to all the teams and drivers, good luck, have fun, and see you at the finish line.
Thank you, Amanda. Indeed, we are racing at Silverstone tonight. Alex, she mentioned that the track is legendary, and it is. It's as legendary to Formula One as, say, Ferrari is. But why did you choose this track?
Well, I mean, there's some classic tracks in the sim racing community that really hard to say no to. Spa's one of them, Silverstone as well. Silverstone is really great to drive. You know, those fast flat-out complexes through Beckett's and Maggots, one of the biggest challenges a driver can have, especially in a Formula One-esque sort of car. It's not quite as easy to overtake as, say, Spa, so qualifying is going to be important. But still, it's a huge monster of a track.
So overtaking is possible, not as easy, it's difficult. Pole position, very important, may fall into Ibrahim's hands. But I want to talk about strategy, because we know that this track is very fast. There's a lot of tire degradation, because there's a lot of high-speed corners, high Gs, lateral load on the tires. So the tires are taking on a lot. Is strategy going to be even more important tonight, especially with double points?
It is. I mean, so they have to pick their one pit stop, especially in race 2, carefully, because the undercut's going to be very strong. So if they pit early, you can leapfrog on someone else. Oh, as Bocelli just goes quicker, so that's a good lap. Inigo Anton goes down on 2. So the undercut's going to be very strong. But if you pit too early, you're going to run out of tires towards the end. So there will be a little bit of strategic back and forth between the drivers and teams.
All right, well, drivers are wrapping up their practice session. Qualifying, very important. Only time will tell if Mohammed Ibrahim can extend his qualifying streak in Season 2. All of that to come right after this break. Don't go anywhere.
When I switched to Pro mileage, I got 47% of savings.
I paid $790 for it. Compared to any other insurer, the cheapest was $1,290. Pro mileage was the only one that gave me $5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper.
My Volvo XC40 1 year premium 6,000 over ringgit. Then I start taking Pro mileage. I said, huh? 3,200 plus ringgit.
Claim went through pretty fast. I got my car back pretty quickly as well.
Called them about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think within 1 hour it came.
may the fastest driver and team win. Hello and welcome back to the E1 Championship Season 2, the grand finale, where we will be racing on the Silverstone circuit tonight. All of the action brought to you by our sponsors, Evo Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage. Check out their website, get yourself a discount. So tonight we're going to be crowning our Season 2 E1 Championship winners. Now, the winners aren't just going to be walking away with the bragging rights of saying that they won. Not just the cash prize, but they're also going to be walking away with the E1 Championship's first ever medals and trophies. And as you saw on your screen just now, there's going to be a really awesome golden helmet for our team champions in first, a silver helmet for the teams in second, and a bronze helmet for the teams in third. And all of our drivers, as a part of the winning teams, 12 to be exact, will be receiving a medal with their name engraved in it as well. Alex, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a cooler helmet than I've ever received in my racing career. And it's even cooler that people can race in the virtual world but still win something tangible and real.
Yeah, absolutely. And the team's championship is going to look really cool. And, you know, Flash win it. Might see Mark or Rentai going around Singapore with it on his head, or Stratos win it. Maybe James will be wearing it. So it's going to be a very cool trophy that you could use on your head.
I will say, disclaimer, it's for ornamental purposes only. Do not use it on track, to all of the teams watching. So who will walk away with the silverware tonight? Well, only time will tell. And before we get into tonight's action, I'm going to hand it over to Alex and Des to walk us through tonight's driver lineup.
Okay, reigning champions of Season 1, Muhammad Alif there in car 44. And the guy leading Season 2 right now, Muhammad Ibrahim in car 33.
For Stratos Motorsports, the winningest racer ever in E1 is Naki Baslan, but he's joined by 10th place Dominic Ang in today. Good season so far for Dominic.
And then we have Kalen Chin in BlackWolf Racing, the Singapore-based team, and he's joined with Ricardo Bocelli. Kalen, very fast and furious, hasn't won a race this season yet. Will it be today?
From the Philippines, GT Radial Eurasia team, Inigo Anton has picked up one podium. Probably deserved more. Joaquim Garrido consistently fighting for top 10 places.
And then we have Safehouse, the Korean-Singaporean team. Miku Nasi, who was the overall winner for round 5, and he's joined by Australian Josh Thomas, who's only 20 years old.
From BlackArts Racing, these two boys really got to keep an eye on them today. Josh Berwin chasing the title, 10 podiums so far for him. Luke Bannister chasing a top 3 place, 5 podiums, the Aussies real contenders.
And then we have Apex E Racing from Brunei, and they have 2 Malaysians racing for him. Arif Azmi, who's only 16 years old, and he's a real-life champion in go-karts as well, and he's joined with Freddie on.
Outsiders, Slipstream Motorsport, Ivan Pachagiato from Australia, joined by Dan Martin. They'll be looking to get into the top 10. They've accumulated 27 points for the team so far this season.
And then we have Team EGG. Aaron Lim, the legend from Malaysia, he's 36 years old, and he's joined by youngster Melvin Tan from Philippines, who's only 15.
And now we head over to qualifying with Amanda once again.
Welcome to the grand finale of E1 Season 2 at Silverstone. It's a clear and sunny afternoon with temperatures on track at 22 degrees Celsius and air humidity is low at 20%. Wind speeds are 16 kilometers per hour, making this a marvelous day for racing. Now the secret is to maintain consistent speed and finesse on both wheel and throttle to get the most out of the circuit. The final qualifying session of this season is up next. Double points are up for grabs. Let's see who can keep up the momentum, secure a fast lap and a good starting grid.
It's a great introduction from Amanda. We are all just about set. A quick mention for Evo Club Insurance, car insurance with Pro Mileage, evoclubinsurance.com. Our thanks for their sponsorship. Amo, we are all set up. Silverstone, classic circuit, a lot of points at stake.
Yeah, exactly. And double the jeopardy, we can safely say. 10 points for pole position this time. And overall, this season, it has been gone all to Ibrahim up until a couple of rounds where he, remember, in the previous round at Monza, he couldn't qualify because of an infringement. So he might want to actually add 10 more points to the 30 he has earned this season so far.
It certainly would be a real bonus for him. I can tell you he is fastest in the practice sessions beforehand. So Mohammed Ibrahim looking good. And Silverstone, Ammo, is a circuit for quick drivers.
Yeah, as you said before in the intro, it's a real driver circuit. It's really fun. It's not necessarily fun for the spectators for the most part. Sometimes the racing can be a bit dreary, but for the drivers, everyone loves it. And I hope for the spectators, but for the neutrals, the racing will be exciting tonight, knowing what is at stake.
Amo did not say that, I promise you. He just did not say that. It will be sensational stuff. We have got a 10-minute qualification period, and out there very quickly, let's get along with Mohammed Ibrahim to see what kind of a time he can put. He's very quick out onto the circuit. Amo, firstly, do you just want to talk us around this iconic circuit?
Yeah, coming through the loop. This is the new area that was open for Formula 1 in 2011, but MotoGP, they used it all the way in 2010. So it's been around for quite a few years, 11 years to be exact. So it's one area of the circuit where there's potentially a lot of action. This one you can go side by side, and remember back in 2014 between Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso, they went side by side from here all the way to Copse at turn 1, and yeah, we're hopefully expecting the same thing here in the virtual world.
Ibrahim has set a quickest time in practice. He has been fastest in 5 of the 7 rounds so far. And we just look at his sector times. They're quickest, obviously, at the moment because he's first out on the circuit. But nonetheless, Sector 1, Sector 2, Sector 3 is now in Sector 4. And he's looking good, although he's hit a little bit of the grass there, which will slow him down just a touch.
Yeah, I think this is just the outlap, actually. We have no confirmation yet of the qualifying laps, so we'll wait and see, because look at the bottom of the screen there. There's the time. Last we can see actually the sector loops. So outlaps are important here. They have to warm up the tires and they have to get the brakes in the right temperature. As he now comes out of the final corner to start his first lap here at Silverstone.
Okay, we are on board the man who has regularly been quickest. We'll briefly move away from him. Inigo Anton was very quick in practice, was posting second fastest time here. As Josh Purwin is also out there as well. I'd really like you to comment on Josh Purwin, because he, I suppose, is the one who has got most to gain and most to lose here.
Yeah, especially the fact that qualifying for him has been a hit and miss. He has 5 top 5s, but 2 of those have been out of it, and all the time Ibrahim has actually gotten points on him. So it's important now, it's paramount that he gets qualifying right at this very point in time.
How's he looking at the moment? Is he on his loud lap or is he on a fast lap here? He's lapping pretty quickly, but he's not fastest. Mohammed Ibrahim is still fastest on his outlap. Let's look back to Mohammed Ibrahim. He is fastest through sectors 1, 2 and 3, Ammo.
Yeah, purple all the way, so it will be no surprise if we can actually record a purple sector as well in the 4th and 5th sectors. We'll have to wait and see, but purple right now, he's bang on for the 10 points here, Des.
Yeah, it's looking good. 10 points available for the qualification. He's 12 ahead of Josh in the overall championship standings, but Josh needs to be quick as well. He just can't afford to let Ibrahim get out of his sights, because we've seen Ibrahim under pressure can crack, Ammo.
Yes, indeed, and especially the fact that in second races where he has not really excelled this year, he might want to avoid the same fate here for this round, as he takes provisional pole by 0.5 of a second, Des.
1:25.94. Josh Purwin, second fastest, 0.4 down. So it's a decent lap from Josh Purwin. Now then, let's have a look at Naqib Aslam, P4 in the overall championship standings. There is time to race. There's 6.5 minutes still to go, but I tell you, Mohammed Alif hasn't set a time yet. In fact, Alif hasn't been out on circuit yet.
Yeah, he's still in the pits, actually, so amazingly. Well, we're going to have to find out pretty soon what's going to happen to Ali. But for now, we're looking at Naqib. And unfortunately, we don't have the sector loops at the bottom. Looks a bit smooth so far, even if it is not an improvement.
Okay, so Naqib Aslam. He was very confident before the race. It's very unlike Naqib to actually shout the odds, but he was saying, listen, I think I can win with this, with so many points available. What's your thoughts with Naqib?
I wouldn't want to blame him to be a bit bullish right now, because double points on offer, anything can happen in the final race, and yeah, he might want to sneak in there, but he wouldn't want to actually stick out his neck a bit too soon and be actually the one bitten at the end. He just has to get on the job right now, and so far at least he has not set a time yet, but I think this will be quite a competitive time from Naqib.
as you can see, bottom left of your screen, Mohammed Ibrahim is again pushing another fast lap out. He's already fastest with a 1:25.74. What can Nakib do? He's not going to be in that 1:25.736. Nakib Aslan hasn't set a time yet.
That's quite weird, actually. I thought for a second his sector loops were registering, so might have been a corner cut somewhere that actually prevented lap time from being recorded. So he's going to have to go around again to actually get a lap time on the board.
Gosh, we said that. Josh Perwin has set a second fastest, 1:26.32. I can tell you, Mohammed Alif, Team Flash, isn't out on the circuit. I'm wondering if he's got connectivity issues.
Yeah, that would be quite bad, especially for the championship standings in terms of Team Flash. They are still fighting. They have one trophy at hand, to say the least. They can win it here, but they need both drivers to actually stand a chance to actually give them that title. And one of them being out of the reckoning right now is not going to help that cause.
Indeed, but the overall championship, Alif is the defending champion. He's been improving as this season has gone on, but he's not having a good time today. Let's have a look at Luke Bannister, BlackArts Racing. He's Josh Perwin's BlackArts Racing teammate. He's got a chance of a top 3 berth, and with Alif's problems, that gets a brighter opportunity for Luke Bannister.
Yeah, BlackArts Racing will definitely have their eyes wide open now. It's going to shine like stars there to find out that this is the best opportunity they've had all season to strike a double blow in qualifying against Team Flash, who have been the qualifying specialists so far this season. And the only other guy to have actually claimed pole in the championship has been Bannister, but so far at least he is only in 6th place behind Nakib, who just finally recorded a lap time.
Yeah, Nakib has posted a lap time 1:26.5 to put him into the points as it stands. We are on board with Luke Bannister from BlackArts Racing, 5th in the overall championship standing. Start of the season ever so well, and I must admit, Amo, I thought he was going to be a contender, but he fell away in the middle part of the season.
Yeah, he went off the boil completely, actually. His results have been seesaw. Inconsistent form, you can safely say, that has actually derailed his chances of being in the reckoning for the championship, but still outside chance being in that top 5. So watch this space. He has a mathematical chance of taking it, but he's going to have to do an awful lot of work here at Silverstone to prevent Ibrahim from taking it. And he has spun it in qualifying, so commentators goes there. Sorry, Luke.
Let's have a look at Riccardo Bocelli. It's only his 3rd round, but he has come in representing BlackWolf, a colleague of Kalen Chin. Kalen P7 at the moment. Riccardo Bocelli, the Italian, currently P9. BlackWolf, he's head faster than Mikko Nassi, which says something. I've got to report, though, that Alif Hamilton has still not got out onto the circuit, Amo.
Oh, this is disastrous for Team Flash. But I might just stick my neck out here and say that for Ibrahim, that might be one less distraction for him, because we don't know what Alif's intentions would be in terms of team orders, because he's still fighting for the championship itself. And if they have both Team Flash cars up there challenging each other and potentially might have an accident, that will give Josh Perwin the opportunity to take the lead away from Ibrahim. That might be bad as well.
Riccardo Bocelli has just got himself up into P7. Inigo Anton in P3. He's on a quick lap at the moment. 1:26.45 was his previous best time, but Inigo can't go any better than P3 at the moment. So it's Ibrahim, Josh Perwin, Inigo Anton, Josh Thomas from Team Safehouse in 4. That'll be worth 4 points. Nakib Aslan currently in P5. The clock is ticking down, and Alif Hamilton is not going to get out on the circuit at all.
Yeah, he's got back right at the back with Melvin Tan, and Melvin just came back to the pits anyway. So yeah, right at the back for Alif. Not a good way to start the final round of the season.
We're on board with Josh Thomas, currently P4. He was 1:26.48, so he's only 300 slower. In fact, he's gone ahead of Inigo Anton and taken P3. Josh Thomas moves on to the 2nd row of the grid. That is pretty good. Mikko Nassi is one of the few competitive racers who's still out there. In fact, Nassi's not there anymore. Nakib Aslan trying to improve on his P5. He's on a fast lap at the moment. 1 minute left to go in qualification. Has he got enough time? I think he has.
Yeah, so far Sector 1 and Sector 2, he is ahead of Bannister, but we're not really wanting to look at that right now. We want to look where he is in relation to Mohammed Ibrahim, and it looks as though it might just be no improvement so far. 1st and 2nd sectors, we'll have to wait and see what happens in Sector 3. Personal best, so he is improving slightly.
Okay, so Naki Baslam. I suppose he's got Inigo Anton in his sights. He needs to be 2/10 quicker to get up into P3. That could be crucial because it's 10 points, 8 points, 6, 4 and 2 for the top 5 in this double points round. Naki Baslam currently in P5. You can see his own anxiety though, and decide to abandon that lap. He wasn't going to go any quicker. That leaves Luke Bannister, the only man out on the circuit, and he's pulled it short as well. Qualification is over. Ibrahim to pick up 10 points. Josh Perwin 8. The top 2 in the championship standings in the same positions. Alex Young.
Wow, another great pole position. Mohamed Ibrahim. That was quite a lap there. Did 2 good laps there. Good enough for pole. I know you I know you can't celebrate because you got race 1 coming straight up.
Yeah, it was a great pole there. I'm thankful to God again, for the pole. It was a very difficult quali because, you had to push really hard on this track to get a good lap time. So it's quite a stressful quali.
Yeah, it is a stressful quali. So, but obviously, you got part of the job down. You're on pole. Got to get the start as well. Is it possible to overtake in Silverstone? Will you be under pressure, or is it all about that first corner?
We'll find out, I guess.
Taking a look at the team's championship, though, you're of course leading the drivers' championship. Your teammate, I believe, wasn't able to join in qualifying. So do you guys have any tactics going on to make sure that Team Flash maximizes their points with the championship in mind?
Yeah, obviously the best plan is to score as many points as possible, so that's what we're pushing for.
All right, well, you're in the best position to do so. Congratulations again, Ibrahim.
Yep, thank you so much, guys.
All right, now it's over to Des to walk us through the unofficial results of qualifying.
And Mohamed Ibrahim is the man who will take the 10 points as it stands, 125.736, nearly half a second faster than Josh Perwin. Ibrahim has been ridiculously quick all season. Josh Thomas, a very good P3 for the Safehouse racer for the Aussie. Inigo Anton just nipped down into P4 for GT Radial Eurasia. That will pick up 4 points. Naki Baslam will pick up 2, and with the bad news for Alif, that just inches Naki a little bit closer to Alif Hamilton. Luke Bannister, a good 6th. Bocelli, a very decent 7th. Kalen Chin coming up in P8 ahead of Dominic Ang. And Miko Nasi completing the first 5 rows of the grid.
And a 6th pole position for Mohamed Ibrahim, half a second faster than 2nd place. Another dominant performance, but can he convert it into a race win? We'll find out very soon when race 1 happens, but don't go anywhere, we'll have a short break.
When I switched to pro mileage, I got 47% of savings.
I paid 790 for it. Compared to any other insurer, the cheapest was 1,290. Pro mileage was the only one that gave me 5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper.
My Volvo XC40 1 year premium 6,000 over ringgit. Then I start taking pro mileage. I say, 3,200 plus ringgit.
Claim went through pretty fast. I got my car back pretty quickly as well.
Called them about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think within 1 hour it came.
Alif Asmi, there's a crash already early on. Oh, there is all kinds of carnage. One championship.
Whoa, Jan gets flipped off.
Nico Nassi is out.
Oh!
Scores the back marker. Whoa! Look at that, Ali for Perwin.
Ibrahim is in the wall at turn 2. Bannister spun in the middle of the field there. Even bigger as Ibrahim actually evolved again. Yet another yellow flag there. Oh, well, that's a BlackArts car. In fact, Naki hits Mika on the way back to the cover. Look for the behind Landslaw and Miko Nassi. Oh my word. A very similar accident. But see what happens after. Does not show whose car is that. Spy 98 vibes intensifies here.
No, that was a net code.
Ready into the barriers on the outside. Oh, that's already an accident. A car in the water.
Oh, net code.
Unlucky. Oh, there we go. Oh, and that's another start like an accident.
Oh, Miko Nassi getting taken out. Here's that. Oh, a leaf was on the inside, but the contact between the two of them.
Oh, big accident, put it back.
Both of them ran wide, and then contact between the two of them. Wow. That's a flying car, and he's on the wrong straight now. Big accident.
Oh, that's a big accident right here. Garrido's out.
Who's that? 32.
Oh, that car's flipped over, and that's Vantagiato. Vantagiato has dropped his way through the field. Has put it behind. There's more mayhem. Oh, there's a spin. Alif has been spun around, and he's actually flipped it over the sausage curb for good measure. Whoa, the stunt.
Hello and welcome back to the grand finale of the E1 Championship Season 2. I love that bit there. The beauty of E-racing is that you can enjoy the crashes, unlike real motorsports. I know I probably shouldn't ask this question, Alex, but do you have a favorite crash from the season so far?
Oh, there were quite a few. But yeah, I mean, it's a good thing, I guess. You just see some of those crashes in real life and be going, okay, that's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's going to be $500,000 worth of damage. But yeah, so able to reset and carry on.
Well, it's important not to crash because consistency pays off. We see that with Josh Perwin, who is currently in P2 in our Drivers' Championship standings, with all the consistent podium finishes that he has had this season. But looking at consistency just now in qualifying, one driver who wasn't there was Alif Hamilton through no fault of his own. He had a couple of issues. Is this going to play a big part in the overall championship standings?
Big time. I mean, because he's still not in the server at the moment. Just rotten luck. Just seeing on Discord just now, just can't get in the server, so he's going to have to start the back from qualifying if he can get to the server now. One of the drivers said you have to just keep restarting your PC because there's been a problem today in trying to get him onto the servers. But that's the problem with online racing. Sometimes this happens. So I'm hoping Alif can get in because if he starts at the back, at least he can still try and make his way to the front in race 1.
Well, the nerves will be playing in full force for Alif in his sim as he tries to get ready for race 1. But another driver that is going to be facing a lot of nerves going into the last 2 races of this season is Josh Perwin. He's fighting for P1 in the championship. He's currently in P2. Let's go ahead and chat to the young Australian. Josh, not pole position in qualifying, but another healthy collection of points. I'm sure you're calculating every single point as you go along. What's the strategy for race 1?
Well, hopefully we can stay in the slipstream of Ibrahim, and if there's a chance to make an overtake, I will. But yeah, it's a big shame about Alif. I brought up a suggestion about restarting his PC, and I think that's worked, which is good. But it's kind of turned in, unless me and Ibrahim have rotten luck this race, it's kind of turned into a 2-horse race. So hopefully I can either keep it consistent and then try and push in race 2 or try and make the overtake here, but we'll just have to see how it pans out.
And with Alif starting from the back with his issues, we saw earlier on in the show you were saying you really want to consolidate that P2 for you and your team overall. Do you think that this is really going to help you guys?
Well, of course, because I think if he qualified, he would have been up there in the battle for the front row with me, so it's helped me out a bit, but still it's a shame to see something like this happen to one of our competitors. So hopefully he can bounce back and maybe be up at the front in the second race.
All right, well, double points on offer for everything tonight. Best of luck, and we hope it goes down to the wire.
Thank you.
He won't hope it goes down to the wire. He hopes he's going to win.
I was telling him what I was hoping for. All right, well, the results are ready for Des to walk us through the official qualifying results.
Yeah, these results through Evo Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage. Mohammed Ibrahim confirmed 10 points for fastest. Josh Perwin 8 for P2. Josh Thomas a very decent P3 for the Australian. Inigo Anton quick as ever for the GT Radial Eurasia driver. And Naki Baslan picks up 2 points for Stratos Motorsports. So after qualifying, these are the standings. That lead from Ibrahim has just edged from 12 to 14 points. It could be crucial. Poor old Alif stranded on 200, but Nakib's been able to just edge a bit closer to Alif. And Luke Bannister, 157. Josh Thomas, 144 points. Inigo, he edges closer to a top 5 position as well. So little moves have already been made. The first arrows have been fired in this fabulous finale.
I love how close that is, and I think with Alif Hamilton as well, one change in the Drivers' Championship I forgot to raise was it opens up P3 for Naki Baslan in the championship, and that's a lot of prize money, 4th to 3rd.
Absolutely. So, you know, Nakib's going to be seeing that. He'll have registered that and going, right, if I can finish P2, P3, maybe even P1. Nakib was not going to rule out going for P1 if he has a chance. He's a real attacking driver. He's very good with the racecraft. But another guy good with the racecraft is Alif. If he can get into the server, I can see him making a lot of positions. And at the moment, I think he is in there. Not sure. He's in.
All right, well, as we get ready for race 1, it's over to Amanda to introduce us.
Congratulations and well done to the drivers for qualifying in top 5. A good grid position is always a great way to begin the day. As drivers prepare for the 15-minute sprint race, the circuit's several high-speed corners and relatively short straights will require teams to run with high downforce levels and less emphasis on top speeds. Who will be pulling off risky moves and laying it all down on the line for double points? Let's find out as we head into our first race.
I'm rather excited by this. Amanda set that up absolutely perfectly. The qualification was dramatic. Ibrahim was fast. Amok, thoughts?
Well, he's got not one-handed trophy, as I said it before, what Team Flash happened to do, but that's going to go a long way in helping out Flash's chances, especially after what happened to Alif when he couldn't even get onto the server. So this is important. This is just like we can safely say, first blood to Ibrahim in this championship fight.
50 points available for the race win, though. You make a mistake, it could be catastrophic, because 50 points goes out of the window.
Yeah, it's almost Krakatoa levels of this catastrophe, if I'm honest.
Okay, quick reminder, Evo Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage, they are our sponsors. We are delighted to say that in the warm-up, our Mohammed Alif has got himself back into the server. There is the visual evidence of it. I'm sure nobody will be more relieved than Alif, but he'll be starting right at the very, very back of the grid. Let's have a look in just a short while on how that grid will look. But Alif is good enough to manipulate his way into a decent position. He'll be at the back. But it's Ibrahim on the front row alongside Josh Perwin. Josh Thomas on the second row alongside Inigo Anton. And third row, you've got Luke and Naki Baslan, Ricardo Bocelli and Kalen Chin, Dominic Ang and Miko Nasi on the fifth row, Joaquim Garrido and Arif Azmi, we've not mentioned them, on the sixth row. A little bit further down, you've got Vantagiato and Dan Martin. And then right at the back, Melwin Tan and Alif Hamilton. Let's keep a close eye on Alif, see how he copes. We are just about ready to go.
Yep, they're gridding up right now, so that's iRacing protocol. Now we're going to get underway for sure.
Okay, let's have a look at the start as the lights go on. 5 lights are on. When they go off, we will be underway. And Mohammed Ibrahim gets off to a solid start, but also from the back did Nakib Aslan. Josh Perwin has just tracked Ibrahim gets a nice first corner. Behind them there's a problem. I think it's Luke Bannister has dropped right the way down, but at the front, that is where all of our attention is, and the front two are Ibrahim and Josh Perwin. Perwin trying to stay in the slipstream.
Oh, there's somebody else behind us as a crash, and I think that's Vantagiato. Vantagiato has actually whacked into the barriers on the way to the Wellington Straight. but that's the start that Ibrahim needed. He got the whole shot, led away, but Powen's not going to give that up. There are guys right behind here who are willing to take away the thunder from Ibrahim. And for BlackArts Racing, disaster for them. Bannister with yet more rotten luck at the start of the race.
Let me just take you down to the man who's got himself up into P8. Mohammed Alif Hamilton. He was not even anywhere near the front, but he's got himself up into P8. Joaquim Garrido is the man who's just holding him up at the moment. But this is Alif, and he is looking grim. He is looking determined, and he's just knocked Garrido off.
And that might be a penalty on the way. That's not the first time that he has whacked the back of somebody on a straight. Remember, he went to the back of Josh Thomas at Spa-Francorchamps, and he had a penalty there as well. So that might be just another one on the way for him.
So let's move away from Ibrahim just for a moment. Alif, just for a moment. Here is a replay of the start of the race. This is Kalen Chin. Oh, and Kalen Chin, was that Inigo was in trouble? No, it was Kalen Chin has just wiped out a couple of races there. Arif Azmi from Apex amongst them. Back now with Mohammed Ibrahim, the race leader, and he's pulled Amo nearly half a second, over half a second on Josh Purwin in P2.
But he's not like he does have enough of a gap in front of him, behind him, to actually still maintain the gap here. Look at that, 0.6 of a second coming through the corners. So there's Slipstream still there, but Josh will know full well that he doesn't want to be too close, otherwise he might get into the dirty air of Ibrahim.
Well, Josh Purwin, there's the man in P2. His philosophy, just stay close. If you do that in race 1, you keep the pressure on Ibrahim. Then you've got the reverse grid race in race 2, and Ibrahim doesn't cope well with that kind of pressure, so we've seen. That's where his mistakes so far this season have come.
Yeah, especially the fact that, remember that very first race back in Interlagos where he won the race, he had the pole already, but then when he tried to sieve his way through the field, got into an unnecessary accident with Ari Azmi, which he called him out in that particular instance as well. So it seems as though his second races have not been his strong point. He has only won 2 of them actually, so in all honesty, Ibrahim just probably wants to just get on with it here by getting the first 50 points and hope and pray that the other drivers challenging him might falter in that second race.
A little bit further down, Alif has got himself up into P5, just gone past Bocelli. He's got Josh Thomas in front of him, but Alif starting from right the way at the back of the grid, inside the first, 3 minutes, has got himself up from P17 into P5. Phenomenal racing. Whoa. And behind him, more mayhem. That's Bannister. No, Josh Thomas drops off.
Yeah, Thomas and looks like Riccardo Bocelli actually, because that was a Safehouse and a BlackWolf car getting involved. So those are the drivers that actually gave Alif a bit more breathing room here between himself and Dominic Ang, who had actually a slow start, managed to actually still stay in the top 5.
Dominic Ang is the man in P5. Back up at the front, you've got Ibrahim. Nakib Aslan, going away. Nakib Aslan, he's got himself in P3 as well. Now, this is what you spoke about earlier on. It can become a little procession unless you can get close up and within the slipstream.
Yep, something like Josh Purwin had at the start of the lap, which was about 0.6 of a second. Now it's increased by half of that, 1.2 seconds now. So it's not easy to follow here with these cars, and I believe Josh might have lost the slipstream here. So Ibrahim has taken initiative now with just 4 minutes in. We know it's just 4 minutes in, but it looks as though Ibrahim has gotten this race under control for now.
There is Nakib Aslam in P3. Let's go back up to the race leader, Mohammed Ibrahim. There he is in splendid isolation, a 1.3 second lead. Wow, he has just got some incredible pace. What he's got to do is just keep that consistency going, because this already, Amo, is his race to lose.
Absolutely, Des, and look at that fastest lap of the race just now, a 27.4. 5 times of a second faster than Purwin. That's how he actually built that gap up. Purwin has no answer to him for now, but he has to keep the pressure up. You never know what's going to happen. You never know if Ibrahim would do the kind of mistake that we don't anticipate him to do. He might just hit a wrong curve somewhere and spin out of the race. Not completely out of the race, but out of the reckoning, and Josh will have every opportunity to grab those 50 precious points in his first race.
Let's have a look at Luke Bannister. Luke had a pretty good qualification, but has been involved in an incident that took him way back, but he's got himself back up into P6. Maybe a chance to introduce Alex Young into the conversation. Alex, we're a third of the way through this first race. It's looking good for Ibrahim for the championship, but Josh Purwin's not giving this up, and neither's Luke Bannister for a top 5 place.
Yeah, I mean, with Alif having troubles in qualifying, BlackArts must have thought, right, they might have a chance to get a bit closer for the team championship. That's not happened with Luke Bannister going backwards on those opening laps, but he's doing a good job to recover, up to P6 now, and it's a great battle turning out right here. Four-way battle between Ang, Bannister, Thomas, and Inigo Anton, and Bannister goes to the inside and makes the move his.
So Luke Bannister now up into the top 5, ahead of Dominic Ang. Although, who's that one dropping back? That's
Bannister. That was Bannister.
That was Bannister.
He hits Ang. Oh, it's a three-way collision. And Inigo Anton, the innocent bystander in all of that.
Oh dear me, poor old Luke Bannister had done that work and then drops back into P8, back up to the front man. And this is Mohammed Ibrahim, who's got a lead now, 2.2 seconds. Where does he have this speed?
It's as a matter of practice, and the fact that he's so familiar with the iRacing platform, he's just serenely in control. Look at that, he can just throw the car around and still manages to actually pull ahead of Perwin, who just doesn't have an answer to this for now. This first race, well and truly at this moment in time, is in really the firm hands of Ibrahim. He's definitely not going to lose this for now.
Josh Perwin is the man in P2. Our focus very much on those two. Naqib Aslan, this is an interesting one because he will pick up points, double points, cannot overstress it. There's the difference between Naqib in P3 and behind him in P4 we have got Mohammed Alif. Now how far behind? It's about a 2-second lead that Naqib Aslan has over Alif, the season 0 and season 1 champions.
Yeah, 1.5 seconds difference between the two of them now, but on the straight here it looks as though Naqib has the straight line speed. Guess Stratos set the car up to be a bit more slippery on the straights, but through the corners it looks as though Alif manages to catch up a bit. So watch this space between the previous champion in season 0 and the incumbent for this season, Alif. This is going to be a tasty one if these two get close together.
Let's just have a look a little bit further down, give a bit of TLC to those who've not really had a chance to. And Kalen Chin is making a bit of a move. He's got himself up into P9. I think that's Joaquim Garrido he's just overtaken. Kalen Chin actually up into P8 because Inigo Anton has got himself a problem. We'll look at that in just a moment. But Anton, I think, is dropping down. In fact, we've got to go and see what's happened to Inigo Anton. He is off the server and into the pit. Samo.
Yeah, off the track and into the pits as well. It looks like a drive-through penalty, to be honest. It looks just like that kind of thing because if it was a pit stop, it would have taken a while. So I think it might have been a drive-through penalty for some sort of infringement.
Well, we saw him in that contretemps earlier on, didn't we?
Yeah, but he doesn't need to come to the pits because the damage fixes itself. So I'm not sure. Maybe it might have been a drive-through penalty. As meanwhile, behind him, Dominic Ang has also dropped out of the top 10, and Mikko Nassi was also up there in the top 10, is in 15th. So the guys that we are tipping to be in that top 10 have dropped out of it.
Man at the front, though, as we look at Kalen Chin and Luke Bannister. That's the battle for P7. Luke Bannister always looks very serene in the car, but he'll be absolutely fuming that he's not able to capitalise on a decent qualification. Back up to the front, Mohammed Ibrahim has extended that lead, Amo, to 3.3 seconds. In fact, Alex Young, the pace of Ibrahim is just phenomenal all season.
Yeah, it is. You know, race ones and qualifying is where he really excels. Good lead there. Looks like Josh is settled for second. I've seen him look in his rearview mirror a couple of times, so I think he's just keeping track of where Naqib is. Josh knows he just wants to make sure he gets second position. He is going to lose some ground to Ibrahim, but don't forget, race 2, the reverse grid race, anything can happen, and that lead, that gap he has to Ibrahim can be annihilated in the opening laps of race 2.
It certainly can. We've got the reverse grid, and that is the last roll of the dice that we have got. And if it's a big reverse grid, say it's the top 14, then that might really impact on the final race of this season. Yeah, that is a little bit more of the young drama.
Yeah, the young effect, of course. A bit of a pendulum swing in that regard for certain drivers, but for Josh, it might not be any difference because he'll be right at the back anyway with Ibrahim, as we have confirmation now is top 14 that will actually be reversed for the grid. So 14th, and Dominic Ang will, if he stays where he is, will be on pole position for that one. But for now, we're looking up at the front, 3.7 seconds. It looks as though Poe and Ibrahim are at a stalemate.
But Alif is closing on the back of Naqib Aslan. That is the battle that we can really have a look at there. When we did this earlier, rear chase camera earlier on, Alif wasn't in the shot. Now he's very close, 1 second down.
And if he had DRS, he will actually be deploying it now on the Wellington Straight, but he has to do it by virtue of an organic overtake. He has to get up to the slipstream of Nakib and get it done, coming through Brooklands, which can be a daunting corner at times, going side by side. And in these cars we have seen this year have not been the most ideal, but I think Alif will want to take it. He will want to take every opportunity he can to decrease the amount of damage as he has had after failing to qualify.
Third place is worth 32 points. Fourth place is worth 26. It does edge Nakib closer, but Alif is more interested in maybe getting closer to the front two, or at least in damage limitation. And he's got 4 minutes to race. 4 minutes to get up into a podium position.
Yep, coming through Copse now. This is where Hamilton and Verstappen had their infamous accident just this year for the British Grand Prix. This Hamilton, though, would like to avoid having that kind of contact with Nakib here.
The slippery snakes of Maggots through to Beckett's and then onto Chapel. Well taken by both of those racers. Up into P5. We'll break away from this just for a second. Josh Thomas is got himself in P5 and he's got a 2.5 lead over Riccardo Bocelli. So Thomas looking decent for the points. It's been a rock solid season for the Safehouse racer, Amo.
Yeah, indeed. A very good debut season for him. Though he was consistent at one point. Oh, he nearly loses it coming through Stowe. That is actually quite a great save, you know. I thought he was going to lose it for a second. But for the guy that started out in the first part of the season consistently before dropping off at Charlotte, he's actually recovered quite well and could be in contention here to still be in the top 5 if he could actually outscore Luke. But right now, Luke is actually right behind him in 6th.
I can tell you that Inigo Anton is back on the circuit. He's down in P11. He's just overtaken Slipstream driver Dan Martin. He went past Arif Azmi, so he took that. We're assuming it's a drive-through penalty, or maybe he had some real damage, but he went off the circuit. But he is out of the serious points. Ibrahim's lead, 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
No way now, no way back for him, as that's a back marker right now, so I'm actually impressed that he has actually caught up the back marker, but that's because Mikko Nassi had problems of his own, and now that might be a bit of a problem here, but this is not like some of the other drivers that he has met this season where back markers have caused trouble for Ibrahim. He will definitely know full well that he can overtake Nassi safely, and Nassi also likewise will get out of the way and not cause too much histrionics.
Final comment from Alex Young in race control. Alex, have you seen anything that might incur the wrath of race control in this first race?
No, not so far. Even we'll have to look at that was it a second lap incident between Alif and Garrido, but it looked like netcode, but it also looked like Garrido slowed down suddenly when he pulled off to the side. But we'll have a look at that, but it looked like netcode to me. But yeah, so yeah, pretty top 3 are set. Well, actually, I'm going to take that back. Alif is all over the back of Nakib, and this has got implications for the championship. And I got a feeling Nakib's going to defend really hard.
Well, there is just 1.5 minutes to race. This is the battle for P3. Alif goes down the inside. Nakib is able to hold on. He just had the right line. That's defensive driving at its very best. We'll need more of that from Nakib, Amo Hazik.
Yeah, indeed, and he will try to hold on here on the Wellington Straight, but looks as though Slipstream is enough for Alif to actually go into the inside, coming through Brooklands, takes away 3rd place easily, and that's a good recovery drive. Damage limitation as he tries to gun to defend his championship.
Well, that's a remarkable drive, actually, from Mohamed Alif. If he was a little bit closer, he was 30 points adrift in the championship standings. That will go to nearly 50, which rules him out. But I tell you what, Nakib's not giving this one up, Amo.
Not by a long shot, so we can still see this battle on the podium swap positions as we're in, I think, definitively the final lap of the race, because Ibrahim crossed the line there just before he hit 130, so I think this might be the final lap. Nakib has to make it count here in this final few corners.
Well, this is the big moment. You've got Alif for Team Flash ahead of Stratos Motorsports, battling for 3 and 4. That just shows you how good the quality of the opposition has been this season. Ibrahim and Josh Perwin, 1 and 2 in the championship, 1 and 2 in this race. As we just briefly move away from these two, 1 more lap to go, I believe, as we are on with Mohamed Ibrahim. He's gone past a couple of back markers. There is, 1 more lap, or this is he on his last lap?
Yeah, the final lap. This is the final lap of the race, and he just passed Mikko Nassi, so that's kind of like a bitter pill to swallow for Nassi to be considered a back marker, but that's how the race has actually turned out for him, and he'll be looking forward to a second race where he'll try to claw his way back through the field.
Well, Mohamed Ibrahim, this is the man who leads the championship. He has been a controversial figure this season. By my word, has he been quick quickest in 6 out of 8 qualifications, and now he is on almost a victory celebration lap in the penultimate race, race 14 of 15 in this season. But the reverse grid is 14, Ammo. 14th place is where he'll start.
Yep, 14th place, and you never know the luck of the draw, and we can safely say, because reverse grid races is a bit of a lottery, isn't it, Des? Because you never know what's going to happen, and it's all to play for still. 50 points is still up for grabs in that one, plus the 4 for the fastest lap in that one too.
Plus the possibility of things going wrong in the pit stop. But we'll stay with Mohammed Ibrahim as he coasts his way home over the rest of this lap, and Mohammed Ibrahim has got himself the race victory, and Josh Perwin will come through in P2. Mohammed Alif, has he got ahead of Nakib? The answer is yes. Alif 3, Nakib 4. Josh Thomas will come home in P5, but race 1 and qualification goes to Mohammed Ibrahim. Alex Young.
Okay, well, Ibrahim, great win for that. Nice lights to flag victory there. You want to talk us through your race? Was it as straightforward as it looked?
I mean, yeah, it's a great win, but the races are never as straightforward as they look, because you're constantly managing tires, keeping the car under you, and like full concentration, like not to make any mistakes.
How was the tire wear? Was it because the Silverstone's hard on tires?
Yeah, the tire is quite harsh, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, you're not going to talk about race 2. So if the tire wear is harsh, obviously the undercut's going to be very strong for race 2.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, multiple strategies are going to work. So we're going to see. Hopefully, I'll just do my best and, leave everything to go.
Okay. Where are you finding this pace? Where is that half a second?
Honestly speaking, I really don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it was one of the last races of the season. I had to ask the same question one last time. All right. Well, you will be starting in P14 in race 2. It's a 14 reverse grid. So best of luck, and looking forward to seeing you carve your way up the field.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I would like to thank you all for the season we've had, and hopefully we have a good final race.
Good luck. Talk to you after race 2.
And on to our unofficial results. It's over to you, Des.
And for the unofficial results, well, Mohammed Ibrahim has the race win. It's got to be confirmed, but there wasn't anything remotely controversial. Josh Perwin fairly early on settled for P2. And on this occasion, that's worth 40 points, 10 points adrift. He will be 24 adrift of Ibrahim. So a win and for Perwin will not necessarily guarantee him the title in race 2. Mohammed Alif, what a performance in P3 for 32 points. Aslan in 4, Josh Thomas in 5. Kalen Chin a decent 6. We didn't give him much time on screen, but Chelly is proving to be a very decent racer for BlackWolf in P7. And further down, you've got points scored by Garrido, Vantagiato, Luke Bannister, Inigo Anton, who was in the wars, Dan Martin 12th, Arif Azmi 13, Dominic Ang 14, Miko Nasi limping home 2 laps down in P15. Melwin Tan from Team EGG nowhere, but Ibrahim is the man in control.
Thank you, Des. Indeed, Ibrahim absolutely dominating race 1, but race 2 is a completely different beast altogether. As we mentioned, the top 14 will have a reverse grid, so he will be starting dead almost last. And as we saw at the start of race 1, it's gonna be hard to keep it on the black stuff. Accidents do happen on this very quick turn 1. All of that action coming your way right after this break.
When I switched to Pro Mileage, I got 46-47% of savings.
I paid $790 for it. Compared to any other insurer, the cheapest was $1,290. Pro Mileage was the only one that gave me $5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper.
My Volvo XC40 1 year premium 6,000 over ringgit. Then I start taking Pro Mileage. I say, huh? 3,200 plus ringgit.
Claim went through pretty fast. I got my car back pretty quickly as well.
Called them about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think within 1 hour it came.
May the fastest driver win. Welcome back to the E1 Championship Season 2, the grand finale at Silverstone. Those helmets are the trophies that will be going to our team champions in first, second, and third. And actually, Alex, I don't even think the teams will get to see them because I might steal them before the show is over. Now, we just wrapped up race 1, and for me, I think this was Mohammed Ibrahim really wanting to, you know, stamp his mark in the championship and end the championship as strongly as he possibly could. I mean, he ran away with a 7-second lead.
I don't see it that way. I see that as a very tense race, to be honest. My heart was beating in my chest. Double points on offer, a lot can happen. And you can see how Ibrahim was super tense at the end. He didn't want to talk to us. He just wanted to focus on race 2. And that's the right attitude to have, to be honest. He needs to be super focused. It's not easy. It is hard to get the most out of these cars. They're on a hair trigger all the time. You can see just a hair trigger can just be off just like that. So all of them, I can promise you, the hearts are beating their chest as they try and control this buckling Bronco of a car. And with double points on offer, the smallest mistake means you could be right. Your championship position is going to choose. And Ibrahim could lose it in race 2 very easily. So he's going to have to play it super safe over the first couple laps.
And we see Ibrahim with his racing line actually on the grass. We saw a lot of drivers actually struggling with that tire wear in race 1 and some spinning by themselves.
Yeah, you know why he does it on the grass? He does it on the grass because there's a thing in the game where if you run on the grass, it lowers the temperature of the tires a bit. So it's a bit better for tire wear, a bit more grip because you keep the temperatures a bit lower. So it's clever. I know Mikko Nasi's picked up on that, but you can see some of the others haven't picked up on it, if it works.
Well, speaking of tension in the championship, it was an extremely close fought battle between Alif Hamilton, who eventually finished in P3, and who is realistically his championship rival right now, Naqib Aslan, fighting for 3rd and 4th in the championship. Let's go ahead and speak to the Team Flash driver first. Alif, that must have been extremely tense. I mean, it was hard enough driving this car with the tire deg that you guys are experiencing, but you missed qualifying and you had to start from dead last, and you did an amazing job going up to the front. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, I mean, the qualifying thing was a bit of an unfortunate thing. I mean, these things happen in sim racing. I think Ibrahim got it once. But yeah, I mean, my focus was just to salvage as much as I could. Yeah, pace-wise, I felt I was, the most prepared out of all the rounds because I put in so much more practice than previous rounds. But yeah, I mean, my tires were fried towards the end. I think if you saw me, I was just drifting around trying to keep the thing pointed straight. But yeah, just thankful for the P3 and now just full focus ahead of race 2.
And we've been acknowledging how hard it is to drive these cars towards the end of the race. I mean, we saw you drifting. We saw a few others actually spin in the middle of the race by themselves just because the tire degradation was so high. Can you give us a bit of insight as to what a good strategy would look like for the tires in race 2? Because it's much longer.
Could you 2-stop?
Nah. Could you 2-stop? I think 1 stop is there, no?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, just for the viewers, yeah, I mean, you have to really manage the way you're driving, especially how you take care of the rear tires in these cars, especially in Silverstone where there's so much more load. So, yeah, I mean, it's all in the drivers and you have to play with the dirty air, you have to see, you have to adjust your brake bias and all that stuff to keep the rears in check. So, yeah, it's a lot of things going on, but yeah, I mean, this is what we drivers love, a lot of variables and yeah, I mean, that's what you're seeing right now.
That's what we love to watch. Congratulations, good drive, Alif, and good luck for race 2.
Thank you.
All right, we've got time for one more interview. Let's quickly speak to Naqib Aslan, the Stratos driver, who finished in P4. Naqib, tough race 1. Tell us how it went.
Yeah, first of all, qualifying didn't go really well. I think a P2 was definitely on the cards. Just never hooked up the lap, unfortunately, so tried to focus on the race start, and that didn't go exactly to plan as well. But after that, just trying to get the rhythm slowly, made a good move on Inigo, and then at that point, the gap was a bit too big to the top 2, so just tried to hold position, and Alif came in quite quickly, and but tried to hold him off for quite a while. Didn't quite have the pace to hold him off, but I think we can be quite happy for where we come.
Well, we know Stratos is very good at the strategy, so anything can happen, and I'm sure the fight between you and Ali for third place is going to go down to the wire. A lot of prize money at stake. Best of luck, and we'll see you on the grid for race 2.
Thank you.
All right, Alex, I think it's time for the highlights.
Well, I mean, as usual, another good start for everyone. Quite a messy start. Alif had a good start. Bannister actually also had a good start there, but then Bannister got caught in an incident just off cam, and this was Perwin looking around the outside of Ibrahim, but Ibrahim covered the inside and never looked back after that, just slowly increasing the gap. But Alif, what a great first few laps to get up to 5th after lap 2, and then he slowly closed on the gap, got to Aslan, and made this overtake. Nakib actually made it a lot easier than I expected him to do. I felt that he wasn't going to challenge so hard, and you're right, at least they're struggling on used tires because they had to push so hard all the way through the race. But fantastic for Team Flash, 1st and 3rd. They're really solidifying their lead in the team's championship.
This final result is brought to you by Evo Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage. Mohammed Ibrahim not only won the race fastest lap as well as winning qualification and 10 points. Josh Perwin, damage limitation with 40 points. Alif exactly the same, a good 32. Nakib on 26 points in P4. Josh Thomas solid on 22. Kalen Chin will still be 5th in the overall championship standings for BlackWolf, 20 points for P6. Bocelli, very good drive from Bocelli. Joaquim Garrido, the best of the GT Radial Eurasia racers in P8. Vantagiato, I think that's Vantagiato's best result of the season in Slipstream, ahead of Luke Bannister from BlackArts Racing. They are the top 10 scorers. Standings update as it stands with 1 to go. 294 points the lead, the score. Josh Perwin 266. A first for Perwin and a 3rd for Mohammed Ibrahim would lead us to a tied position in race 2. Mohammed Ali 3rd position with 232. Nakib Aslam 22 points adrift of Alif. Kalen Chen 40 points adrift of Nakib. Nakib has a nightmare. Kalen, you never know, could still nip into the top 4. Luke Bannister 1 point down on him, and Josh just 3 points down on Luke. Mick Onassi on 150. He's still in with a chance of a top 5 finish and a cash prize. Inigo Anton, poor result today, just back from some real racing, I understand. He's in P9 still. Dominic Ang down in P10 on 89 points.
Thank you, Des. Alex, 28 points separate 1st and 2nd. Is there anything Josh can do strategically, a wild card he can throw in the mix to hop, skip, and jump his way into 1st?
It's not in his hands totally, so he just has to focus on doing the job. Has to get a good start. He has to be a bit aggressive off the start. He can't be too relaxed. But again, he can't afford to get taken out either. He has to go for the win. He has to take some risks, and he just has to hope that Ibrahim gets involved in some crashes and doesn't finish with the required points he needs. And that can happen in race 2. And we're seeing with the iRacing and the Dilara IR01 that with, you know, the cars are so quick with the net code and stuff, you have a small little contact and that's it. You're off the track and you can lose a whole bunch of points. So, big pressure.
That's right, a lot of pressure, and we said Season 2 would go down to the wire, and here we are. Everything is on the line at Race 2, Round 8. This is where the championship is decided. Race 2 is coming up right after this break. Do not go anywhere.
When I switched to Pro Mileage, I got 47% of savings.
I paid 790 for it. Compared to any other insurer, the cheapest was 1,290. Pro Mileage was the only one that gave me 5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper.
My Volvo XC40 1 year premium 6,000 over ringgit. Then I start taking Pro Mileage. I say, huh? 3,200 plus ringgit.
Claim went through pretty fast. I got my car back pretty quickly as well.
Called them about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think within 1 hour it came.
welcome back to the grand finale of E1 Season 2. We just finished an exhilarating sprint race around Silverstone. The teams and drivers will have one final chance to push for a podium win in the upcoming reverse grid race. This will be the last race of the season. Double points will once again be on the line. Making a win here is paramount to the points in the overall standings of the season. Stay tuned to find out who will be crowned the champion of E1 Championship Season 2.
Again, very nicely set up by Amanda. Evo Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage are the sponsors of the E1 Championship Season 2. EvoClubInsurance.com. Amo, Alex and Daniel have spoken us through the permutations. It's all down to a little bit of driver nerves. Now, the reverse grid, I've loved this innovation from Alex. The reverse grid race causes nerves.
Yeah, especially the fact that it doesn't give anyone an easy run, isn't it? Especially for Ibrahim at the front. He might not be so rosy up there. He knows full well that anything can still happen to him, and he will still be on his toes. He is being kept honest here by the regulations.
Particularly this season, we've seen so many collisions further down the grid on the start line.
Yeah.
That could be crucial. If my heart is palpitating, it's on that first lap and that first couple of corners that it's going boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for the guys who are in championship contention, they will hope and they will cross their fingers. They'll knock on wood, get a 4-leaf clover, some rabbit's foot, whatever that can actually give them some good luck to get through the mayhem, which sometimes can happen with these reverse grid races.
We're just waiting because I think Melvin is still trying to get into the server. Melvin had a difficult time in race number 1, so there's a slight delay on race number 2, which will just add to the tension.
Yeah. You can cut it with a cricket stump, as they say in British commentary. And
do they?
I mean, so I think remember there's an old saying actually. You can cut the tension with a cricket stump or with a knife or whatever it works. But anyhow, you said permutations earlier, and we already worked out a permutation. If Josh wins the race and Ibrahim finishes 5th without the fastest lap, they'll be tied on points, which will go to a tiebreaker, and Ibrahim actually has the most wins, so it will still go to Ibra. And if Ibrahim even finishes somewhere like in P7, it still might not be enough if fastest lap is given to Ibrahim. So that's gonna be like the worst case scenario. Ibrahim has to finish 8th or worse in order for Josh to secure the title.
So what you're saying, Mohammed Ibrahim has to just be conservative. He doesn't know that word.
No, you try telling any racing driver that to be conservative, to hold back, they won't. It's in their nature, even sim racing, to just go for it. Even when there's a lot on the line, they will just go for it. Ibrahim, on the other hand, though, having said that, might be having a change of heart, I think, because he might just be thinking about the championship. He doesn't want to cause any more controversies or accidents with the drivers. He just wants to get it over with and just get that sweet dough at the end of the season.
In terms of strategies, there's a compulsory pit stop. Would anyone be brave enough to take soft tyres and maybe take 2 pit stops?
2 soft tyres may be quite an aggressive strategy, plus the amount of time lost in pit lane is not going to be worth the gamble. So might as well just go for the safe strategy. Maybe hards and softs. Who knows? Because we saw in that first race, several drivers who were on the hard tyres managed to go into the pits as well anyway.
Okay, quick mention from Alex Young if he's still in the commentary box. Alex, a slight delay. It just adds to a little bit of a tension, and the nerves can get you because there's decent money on offer for this competition.
Absolutely, but we are about to start race 2 right now. But you're right, the nerves are getting there. And I tell you what, you saw how tense Ibrahim is. And we've seen the nerves get to him before this season. That's the thing. So Ibrahim just needs to keep calm. He has to be calm. If he takes his time, I think he's got this one in the bag.
Many ifs, many buts. As Daniel says, anything can happen. And I think we are close to being able to get into race number 2. Indeed, we are. We're just about to go onto the full screen, and we are at Silverstone, the iconic circuit of Silverstone, for an iconic ending to the E1 Season 2. Front row the grid, Dominic Ang, who's been decent, and Arif Azmi. Second row, Dan Martin and Inigo Anton. There's a potential spoiler. Luke Bannister and Vantagiato. Great performance from Ivan. We don't give him much TLC. Garrido and Bocelli, who was good on the 4th row. Kalen Chin and Josh Thomas on the 5th. There's some decent races for the men to get ahead of. Naki Baslan and Alif on the 6th row of the grid. You move down a little bit further. Josh Perwin and Ibrahim 13th and 14th. Miko Nasi starting in P15. Melvin, I'm sad to say, unable to get into the server. And I think Miko's got a problem getting into the server as well.
Yeah, that's a real shame for those two drivers at the back end. Miko's Nasi's entered the championship pretty much is absolutely mirrored to what he had at the start of the season, where he was off to a decent start. But anyhow, he will just have to bite the bullet here and try to gain back some lost points in this final round of the season as we're going to get underway. And interesting enough, we saw Inigo Anton in 3rd place. He might be on for trying to get his first win of the season after being taken away because of penalties. That will be a great way for him to end the season and try to look forward on a high.
It will, as you can see, be a rolling start, which adds to a little bit. Mohammed Ibrahim right at the back, currently in P14 he will be, as they just jockey around as they get ready to get into this fast start. Dominic Ang and Arif Azmi on the front row of the grid. Luke Bannister and Inigo Anton there as well. Inigo could be a real spoiler. Dominic Ang in the lime green of Stratos Motorsports. He gets the flying start as he goes around the corner, and we are indeed underway. And Inigo Anton, Arif Azmi, Dominic Ang leads the way. And that's a flying start from the Stratos Motorsports racer. A little bit further down, let's very quickly check in on Mohammed Ibrahim, and he's avoided any carnage, Amo, has he?
Indeed, and he has overtaken, crucially, Josh Perwin. So he's in front of his main championship rival, his chief championship rival in his championship, and now he's right behind his teammate. Let's see if there's going to be some sparks flying here, because the top three in the championship are lined astern right now as we head into Brooklands.
Mohammed Ibrahim currently in P12. He's got Josh Perwin right behind him. Ahead of them, somebody... Oh, no, it didn't happen. Naki Baslan is there. Up at the front, sorry, we've got to give some attention to Dominic Ang and Inigo Anton, because Inigo Anton has got himself up into P2.
And that was Dan Martin, actually, that got knocked out of our shot, because we saw a couple of tires flying through, so that's one of the drivers that got knocked out. But it matters not, because we need to look further in front. Dominic Ang is only 0.8 of a second in front of Inigo Anton, and look at that, Luke Bannister in 3rd place. So the fast drivers are coming up right now, and this is going to be quite interesting. We see the fastest drivers in the championship are further behind, while the drivers who are looking to get their first wins or even second wins of the season right up at the front.
Okay, I've got to go from the front of the grid right to the back. This is P13, and look who is P13 is Josh Perwin. 1.5 seconds down on Josh is Mohammed Ibrahim.
Oh, and there's a spin there. I think that's Nasi. That's Bocelli. Is it Nasi? Nasi spun around. So luckily, Ibrahim avoided that little contact. And look at that. Perwin's actually gotten in front of Bocelli in that little mayhem as well. So he's right up to the back of Alif Hamilton. So will Alif play the team tactic and try to help out his teammate here?
So Josh Perwin, as Bocelli goes around the outside of Josh Thomas, who slid and slided away. He slipped and slid away. And in front of them, you've got Mohammed Alif in P9. Up at the front, we can't ignore them.
Oh!
That's Naki Baslan spins out of contention. And Ibrahim just tracks Josh Perwin. Perwin P10. Ibrahim will just be a shadow, you suspect, Amo, or maybe more than a shadow, because Ibrahim has actually just gone past Josh Perwin temporarily and is forced very, very wide. That's a risky maneuver.
And we saw, and did we see that before? I think I've seen that before. We've seen it before in the 2021 British Grand Prix, where a number 33 car went around the outside. That didn't end well for him. For this number 33, Ibrahim, he managed to go one on the outside and takes a crucial position away from Perwin. Perwin has a lot of work to do here to actually get the better of him. As further behind, we look at that. Josh Thomas and Naki Baslan batting the way. Josh goes off into the escape road. Now we can hopefully focus back into the battle between the two championship protagonists, who are only 10th and 11th right now.
They are 10th and 11th. Mohammed Ibrahim in P10 has got himself ahead of the man in P11, Josh Perwin. 30-minute race. A lot can happen. That gives us a chance to go back up to the front, where Dominic Ang for Stratos Motorsports. He has got the lead back from Inigo Anton with Luke Bannister in P3 and Kalen Chin in P4. The top three have got themselves a lead of about 2 seconds over Kalen Chin and Arif Azmi in 4 and 5.
And Dominic might be a bit of a cock in the bottle here right now because he's holding them up. And all the while then, while these three will start squabbling each other, Kalen will join the party. And Arif Azmi would like to look for a second podium of the season as well if he's were to actually chase up to the back of him. So this battle for the front of at the front of the field for their first and second wins of the season, not over by a long shot. We might actually see this change come the pit stops.
There's the front three. Ang leads, Anton in second, Luke Bannister in third. We've got 26 minutes to race, plus a pit stop. Everybody apart from Alif and Vantagiato are on hard compounds. Our Mohammed Alif ammo, medium compound. Let's have a look at Alif.
Oh, wait, we're going to look at the back to the front there. Dominic Ang probably is under pressure from Inigo for a second. Nope, Inigo never made it past. We just nearly caught the end of that. But unfortunately for Inigo, he's still holding on second. But I think the entire Philippines will be willing him on here to actually get his first win of the season proper on the road and without any penalties as they go side by side. Coming for the arena, actually goes on the inside. Yes, he takes the lead. What a brilliant move. He went on the outside and inside, and now he is in the lead. But he still has, the job's not done yet. He's got Bannister behind him.
Inigo Anton is the man who has got P1. Poor old Dominic Ang went from 1 to 4 because Luke Bannister and Kalen Chin went past him. But there is the battle for P1. You don't want Luke Bannister on your tail, really, do you? Because he's a cool, calm, calculating character.
He is, but unfortunately has been riddled with a bit of bad luck in terms of race crowd because he had some of these accidents on no fault of his own. He gets knocked out in potentially winning positions, and that's why his form has seesawed somewhat towards the middle part and end of the season. But right now, looks as though he wants to end on a high, and how he would love to win here to help out at least BlackArts to challenge for the team championship.
Well, that's how close they are, and they are pulling away a little bit further down. Every so often we've just got to break away from this 1-2-3 race, although let's stay with it for now because Bannister goes around the outside, but Inigo Anton defends, but Bannister had the right line, and that's allowed Kalen Chin to come through as well. So it's Bannister 1, Anton 2, Kalen Chin in 3. In normal circumstances this will be the thing that we focus upon, but as Inigo Anton forces us to focus on it, he tries to go through the inside. Kalen then tries to make a move, and Dominic Ang hasn't really been dropped either. These four really having a cracking battle.
Absolutely, we are excited to see that. At least the second race was actually better than the first. We see more close wheel-to-wheel battles, and luckily not so many major incidents as we are now looking back at from behind with Luke Bannister. Look at that. 4 different cars in the top 4, and it's still not over yet. We thought that Inigo might have given up on that, but no, he is a dogged driver. He wants to fight for his first win proper this season after being snatched away from him in Montreal after a penalty.
I must move away though. I must take you down to a story developing. Josh Perwin is in P8. Mohammed Ibrahim is in P12. Ibrahim has got Thomas, Nakib and Vantagiato between him. Mohammed Ibrahim is looking very, very tense. Those shoulders look very rigid as he looked to the camera. That's a nervy look.
I wonder who he's looking at, actually. I'm not sure he has anybody with him, actually. He's normally talking on Discord to chat with his team, but he looks really pensive right now. He is under a bit of pressure, a bit of a furrow look on his face, so it looks as though Ibrahim is actually feeling it a bit slightly because right now he's coming out to the pit stops and he's well behind Perwin. Yeah, Perwin has actually made up another position. He's 7th as first of the drivers to come is Vantagiato.
So Perwin is in P7. I can tell you that Ibrahim has put in a ridiculously quick time of 1:27.85. That is, well, Josh Thomas just 100 slower, but it's the fastest lap of the race so far. Josh Perwin in P7. Up at the front, I can tell you Luke Bannister is still leading the way. Where are we? We're only 7.5 minutes in. That was a really, really early pit stop from Vantagiato.
Yeah, indeed, and he was actually on the mediums, as you said, so that's why he probably thought that, yep, medium's not going to last. He's going to go straight onto the hards after this and bring those tires all the way to the end. That might also bring the equation of probably a second stop because it looks as though Silverstone's really harsh on the tires, Des.
Certainly does. Alif Hamilton as we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Alif Hamilton is the man in P5. There he is. He is on medium compound tyres. He's closing in on Dominic Ang. How long might he gamble, and is it a gamble, to stay out on those medium compounds?
It might be a stroke of genius if he could manage to hold on to those tyres to the midpoint of the race and then slap on another set of medium tyres to go to the end. So he is in good shape here to try and challenge for the win as he challenges Dominic Ang coming into the inside. That's an easy move coming through Stowe. No need for DRS, no histrionics, just an easy move. Dominic didn't really defend that.
Kalen Chin has got ahead of Inigo Anton to move into P2. Mohammed Alif on medium compound. So how many laps or how long does it give you the advantage on those medium compounds before it goes to hards?
If he actually manages to keep those tyres alive for a long period and manage to go over the halfway point there, he can still be at the advantage. He can even go on another set of mediums, as I said, as Nakib goes into the pits. He is actually in good shape here. The medium tyre runners, we don't really see a lot of them, but if they can make do with those tyres, it could potentially be a very good strategy.
Nakib Aslan into the pits in P14. Let's go to race control. Alex Young, a fascinating opening 9.5 minutes. We are nearly a third of the way through. Ibrahim under pressure.
Yeah, he got a bit unlucky in the early laps. He got a contact with someone at Stone that kind of speared him off the track. And he's been recovering, but I'm a bit surprised his pace has been a bit inconsistent. He's had quick laps, but then he's had some slow laps as well. But he needs to relax. There's still plenty of time to catch up. If he makes another mistake and then drops outside the top 10, that's when he'll really start getting into trouble. But again, back to that battle at the front. There's a great battle between Bannister and Kalen Chin.
Here is Luke Bannister, who leads the way. Kalen Chin in P2. Inigo Anton is still managing to hold on. Their last lap times, they're all in the low 128. A 128.10 for Bannister, 128.05 for Kalen Chin. Last time out, they're setting quite some pace, Ammo.
Indeed, and they're actually broken away in front of Dominic Ang, who's actually been overtaken by Alif, as we saw just now, as he brings us to the pits. Kalen tries to move on the inside, coming to the arena section. You normally want to actually get alongside the driver, not try to dive on the inside there. You might end up spinning someone, and Kalen, though, looks like he got a bit between his teeth. Bannister has not managed to pull ahead onto the Wellington Straight. This is potentially going to be a lead-changing maneuver.
So Inigo Anton tries to go around the outside, gets the move on. Sorry, Kalen Chin goes around the outside, gets the move on. Chin is the new race leader, 5th in the overall championship standings. There's decent money at stake. This is worth winning. This is worth winning this race for Kalen Chin and for Luke Bannister. Anton still holds on in P3.
Yeah, as you said about 5th place, there's only 9 points in it between Luke and Kalen right now. So this is actually going to be really beneficial to Kalen if he finishes in front of Bannister, because it's a 10-point swing for 1st and 2nd. He could be 5th here. So that's what he's aiming for. That's why he made that move. He wanted to make that move as early as possible so that he could try to break away. But Bannister's still there. 1st and 2nd still not over, not by a long shot.
Right, let's have a look. Nakib Aslan doesn't have a registered pit stop, you know. That might have been a drive-through penalty that he received, because he doesn't have a registered pit stop. He's in P14. Mohammed Ibrahim in P14, has made a pit stop and is back out on hard compound tyres again.
So double hard tyres, that's what we kind of expected, because these guys just want longevity right now. They pit at the midpoint or close to the midpoint and tried to bring those tyres towards the end. So Ibrahim right now pretty much in no man's land, but he knows full well he's got the road in front of him. No one to attack him from behind either. He's got clear road and he can have the opportunity to push as high as he could with these tyres, trying to make up the lost deficit to the guys in front.
But is it me? Does he look tense there? And I mean, I know he's an intense character, but those shoulders look very, very
stiff. Yeah, it looks as though he's trying to do a bit of weightlifting while holding onto the weights for a long period of time. That's why I think it looks like. Look at that, the veins on his arm. We've highlighted this before. Gripping that steering wheel very hard. He is in a very tense mood right now, and it's better that no one probably talks to him. His team radio will probably be silent at the moment.
Vantagiato is having a bit of a nightmare. He looks like he is out of things. 2 pit stops for him. Now then, back up to the front. Kalen Chin is the man who is still leading, but he's got Luke Bannister breathing down his neck. And these two have edged a second or so clear of Inigo Anton for GT Radial Eurasia.
Indeed, and Inigo probably lost about a second due to the fact that these two have the option of switching as Alif comes into the pits. He got overtaken for a second by Bocelli there. But I think Kalen and Bannister are working together trying to build the slipstream. We saw these kind of tactics before at Spa. Ultimately, it didn't work for Miko and for Kalen. But this time around, it seems to be working because they've actually pulled away from Anton.
Let's have a look at Josh Purwin. Josh Purwin needs to win. He needs to get close. He's currently in P6. Make that P5 because he's just got ahead of Josh Thomas there and Dominic Ang. So Josh Purwin, he's making his way through the traffic but has yet to have a pit stop. Ibrahim has taken his pit stop. They are the two in championship contention. Purwin P5. What about his body language, Amo?
It looks like typical Josh, to be honest. He's always this gung-ho and he loves to use turning a lot with his wrist there, so really he uses a lot of force to turn the wheel, but at the same time he doesn't look that tense actually. He looks rather relaxed at the moment, knowing full well that he has track position over Ibrahim, and Ibrahim, speaking of track position, has fallen behind his teammates by about 5 seconds.
Alex Young, your thoughts as we have a slight freeze. Your thoughts, Alex Young, as we approach the midway point of this race. Has has Josh Purwin really got it in him just to carry on and take the victory? And is Mohammed Ibrahim struggling?
Oh, it's going to be close. I think Chin, Bannister and Anton, they're ready at the moment. But don't forget, we got to go. Who's going to go early? I'm going to try the under.
The net lead of the race. In fact, he goes into the lead now. He's behind Bannister. Well, there's Bannister. He's actually overtaken him. So they're going side by side, going through turn one. Is it going to be it?
Okay, apologies for the slight technical hitch then. Couldn't have happened at a worse possible time, but you rejoin us with still 13 minutes of the race to go, and Kalen Chin leads from Luke Bannister. They've made a pit stop. Alif comes out after his pit stop in P3, but Chelly 4. Josh Purwin, Amo Hazik, is the man who is in P5 at the moment, but as I look down, where is Mohammed Ibrahim?
Seventh. Wow, that's
enough. Close enough.
That's close enough, and it will be enough for him to claim this year's championship. We will have 3 different winners in 3 seasons. That is an amazing repertoire to have. But we look at Josh Purwin right now. He's trying to salvage any which way he could. Now, we go back to the permutation. If Josh wins this race and Ibrahim stays in 7th, that will be enough for them to be on the tiebreaker. If Ibrahim actually manages to get a faster lap as well, which actually he holds right now. So tiebreaker still, it will still go to Ibrahim. He has to finish 8th or worse by hook or by crook for Josh to actually win the championship, but it looks almost like a nigh on impossible task right now.
12 minutes for the survival to happen, as we again have got another freeze. It couldn't happen at a worst possible time. I do apologise. Luke Bannister is in P2. Josh Perwin is in P3.
Let's go, Luke. We're looking at Luke there behind Caleb. We could literally read the back of the rear wing of his name. That's how close he was. So Bannister there's got to go into the inside, coming through the loop. Does he make it stick? They're going side by side, and looks like Bannister's got to drive out of there and takes the lead of the race, but Caleb will fight back.
Cracking little battle going on there. Caelan Chin and Luke Bannister. It is a side story, Alex Young. Just your thoughts, but Caelan Chin, he is really saying, he said he fancied a place on a podium today. It looks like he's looking to get that number one place on the podium.
Yeah, and you know, look at that. Leaf in third position. This is all playing in the hands of Leaf because they're both fighting each other. Leaf going down the side of Luke Bannister into second position.
Oh, they've hit each other. They've actually hit each other. I think Bannister has spun. Bannister has spun coming through back in. So that's through no fault of anybody's own. They're just going side by side. And unfortunately, we've seen content like this all season. And Bannister became a victim yet again. So that's another disastrous round for Bannister. What does he need to do to get good luck in this series?
But for Mohammed Ibrahim, it means 6th place. And 6th place is a guaranteed victory. Even if Josh Perwin, who's in 4th place, goes on to take the victory. So there is Josh Perwin, currently in 4. He's got Bocelli in front of him, and in front of them, Alif in P2 and Caelan Chin in P1. Josh Perwin is going to give this everything. We know that from the young Aussie, but he's got a lot of work to do. Bocelli defends well. Perwin tries the switchback, successfully does so, or maybe not. Bocelli was just tight as he possibly could be, the Italian.
Absolutely, he is absolutely trying to defend this because also in turn it helps Caelan to actually get away at the front. So this is BlackWolf helping each other out. Josh on the outside coming from Brooklands. He has finally overtaken, but at what cost? They have lost so much time here to Alif, and Alif is only 4/10 right behind Caelan. So right now, Josh is trying to chase the 2nd place. That looks almost nigh on impossible with just only 10 minutes left to go here.
Really good battle as the sun begins to set at Silverstone. Is it setting on the chances of Josh Perwin? He's got himself up into P3. He's got 9 minutes to race. Mohammed Ibrahim, meantime, is there in P6 at the tail end of Josh Thomas and Riccardo Bocelli. At one stage down in P14, now in P6. Now he looks, well, still a little bit tense there, Amo.
Yeah, it looks a bit tense, but I think a bit more relaxed. Look at that, he's a bit more talkative right now. He's talking to his team on radio, so at least he's happy to be a bit more talkative now. But initially, just now, when he was in P12, he didn't look like the person that you want to be near with a 10-foot pole.
Inigo Anton is the man who's in 7th, but quite a long way down, nearly 3 seconds down on this little battle. Back up to the front, Caelan Chin is looking good. This will be Caelan's first victory of the season, I believe.
Yep, and remember last time out, season 1, where he actually had a double at Nürburgring when we were on race room. So it looks as though final race things is something that doesn't matter to him because it doesn't have a championship implication. So he can just go all out. He wants to get.
But then again, Alif is closing in. Alif is closing in.
I know we can see that, but I think he might just be calm enough to actually defend here. But Alif looks as though he wants to actually end the season on a high as the outgoing champion.
Well, Alif Hamilton, he will give it his all. He really missed the opportunity, but there Alif is trying to go through into P1. Alex Young, we are now in the final 8 minutes of this race season. Your thoughts as Ibrahim is in P6 and Alif's looking for the win?
Well, you know, everyone's on the hard tyre, so I think everyone had higher tyre wear than expected. You know, a lot of them pitted early. Ibrahim, he may be sick, but he pitted in the 9th minute, and Alif pitted in the 13th minute. So both of Team Flash cars pitted a bit earlier than they wanted to. So while Alif's challenging for the lead, his tyres are a couple laps older than Caelan Chin's, and he's going to run out of tyres very soon. But even sooner than him, Ibrahim in 6th position, I think he might have to do a second pit stop.
Well, let's have a look down at Mohammed Ibrahim, down in P6, just to see. Well, he's not been able to make any move on Bocelli or Josh Thomas yet. Amo, will he be looking nervously down at his tyre wear as Bocelli goes inside Thomas, and Ibrahim nearly gets some contact.
Indeed, and nearly knocked the front wing off there for a second, but I think he will try to actually move here, coming through the Aintree and up to Brooklands. Yep, he didn't have to go wait on the Brooklands. He has already got in 5th place. That's one more position that Josh has lost here, and points crucially in the championship stakes. So Ibrahim in a comfortable position. No matter what Josh does now, he will potentially be champion.
Alif Mohammed is Mohammed Alif Hamilton, meantime, has overtaken Kalen Chin for the race lead. He's looking for the 50 points. Fastest lap at the moment, a 1:27.55, belongs to Josh Perwin. That might come into calculations if he can catch up with the front two.
Actually, he's 1:27.1. That's Alif. Alif has the fastest lap of the race so far, so he is the fastest car on track right now. And guess what? That's actually been proven true. He's taken the lead away from Kalen, who's normally one of the most hardest charging drivers you can ever drive against. Unfortunately, couldn't put up much of a fight that time around, but it looks as though Kalen's not giving up. And as Alex mentioned, he has fresher tyres compared to Alif, so if Alif's tyres were to fall off the cliff, Kalen will be there to strike.
What about Josh Perwin? He's currently in P3, and there he is. He's just about a 1.5 seconds down on Kalen Chin and Alif. He's certainly giving it a go. He's a gutsy kid, Josh Perwin.
Absolutely, and hard to believe we can call him a kid because he looks so mature for a guy who's about, what, 18 or 19 years old this year. He just actually exudes that kind of veteran look on his face that, you know, you can pass off as like, yeah, he's been here for a long time. But definitely so, because he has a lot of sim racing experience. He probably has never fought for a championship so hard compared to this. And right now, at least, it's a bit of an outside challenge. It's slipping away slightly, but you never know what's going to happen in the last 5 minutes. It could be an Isaac Glock moment here. You never know.
Mohammed Alif is still leading the way, and quite rightly you called it. He does have the fastest lap. Kalen Chin in P2. He lost 0.6 seconds on the last lap, Kalen Chin, but he is closing in. He might have a bit of slipstream. I think we know Kalen's a doughty competitor as well. He's a youngster, but certainly knows how to drive a sim and certainly knows how to compete.
Indeed, and we did mention earlier how he just turns up in the final few races and just goes on into the next season on a high. He wants to actually end this one with another win. He had that two wins in the final round of the season at the Nürburgring last time out, so he will love to actually end this one as well on a high.
We must go back to the man who is potentially just 5.5 minutes away from the title. There he is. He's not taking any risks, Mohammed Ibrahim, but Josh Thomas has closed in on him. So Ibrahim currently in P5. We need to, though, look at the state of his tyres, because the wear and tear around Silverstone, you said the tyres are, it's a very, very heavy circuit, and he'll be worried about that.
Yeah, heavy tyre wear. Alex mentioned the 9th minute. He actually pitted 19 minutes ago, actually. Right now, we actually include the amount of time that's actually lost in the pits. So, okay, not 90 minutes. Sorry, 17 minutes since lap minute number 9, and he has actually stayed out a long time with those tires. So it might actually go off the cliff right now, and he could not have wished it to come at the worst possible time in between two drivers who are just as fast.
But 7th, 6th, 5th will be enough if Josh Perwin doesn't win. Josh Perwin has got to win. Josh Perwin has got to close up to Kalen Chin, and he is. He's within 0.5 seconds of Kalen Chin, and so Josh Perwin is going to give this one absolutely everything. He is not far behind the front two.
Yep, and importantly though, if he does get past these guys and takes the race lead, he still needs to record the fastest lap of the race to prevent any sort of opportunity for Ibrahim to actually win it on tiebreakers. So all important now, Josh needs to get to the back of his fellow countryman and the defending champion or outgoing champion to stand up any chance of winning here. This is tense here right now, Des. Like, my palms are sweating right now. This could go any way between these two drivers.
Final 3 minutes of the season. It is down to this. Alif is looking for the race victory to secure 3rd place. place. Kalen Chin is looking for his first win of the season. Josh Berwin is looking for some kind of miracle to get past these two and hope that something happens to Mohamed Ibrahim down a little bit further down. In P4, Riccardo Bocelli is the man in the middle of Ibrahim and a place in the top 4, and Josh Thomas is putting pressure on Ibrahim. This is tense.
Absolutely. And if Josh were to actually overtake Josh Thomas behind Ibrahim, who were to overtake and Ibrahim falls to 6, that would be a bigger chance for Powen to actually take the championship, at least to a tiebreaker, if he actually takes the race win. So this can still swing either way between the two drivers, and we're in the final 2 minutes of the season, Des. This can go anyway. It's all up for grabs now.
The man in the middle of that sandwich is Mohamed Ibrahim. If he stays there, he will be champion. But can he stay there? Josh Thomas is trying to force his way past him. The team Safehouse racer is putting pressure on Ibrahim. At the front, Josh Perwin is not able to get ahead of Alif or Kalen Chin, but he is putting immense pressure on them. We're down to the final 2 laps of the season.
Yep, 2 laps to go here to decide the championship. Oh man, we have not seen a championship this tense before. We've seen title fights that went between a few drivers, but between 2 drivers is when the ante is ramped up as Kalen goes to the inside and he takes the lead away from Alif. This will be an opportunity for Josh to go to the inside. Oh nice, he's hit Alif. Alif's gone into the air, he nearly flips over. That might be a controversial decision that the stewards have to make after this.
Josh Perwin though barges his way into P2. Race control will have a look at that. Alif recovers for P3. I can tell you there's been a problem also for Josh Thomas, who is out of the race for P4. So Ibrahim is going to come in P5, but Kalen Chin has the lead, and now Josh Perwin is in pursuit. Alex Young, a quick thought from you on that racing incident.
Yeah, I think it was a side-by-side impact. I think Josh will get away with that. But Alif, I think he's gone over the incident points. You can see he's only got 19 incident points, and Ibrahim's at 18 incident points. But both Team Flash cars are right on the limit of getting a drive-through, and I think that contact with Josh, we don't know for certain yet, might have given Alif a drive-through.
Wow, so Kalen Chin still holds the lead. Josh Perwin in P2. Yeah, Alif, I think, goes off and takes his penalty. Bocelli comes through into P4. Ibrahim into...
Checker flag.
Checker flag is the final lap, and Kalen does take victory. So 2 seasons in a row, he wins the final race of the season. Look at how ecstatic he is to actually get one this season.
But there is unofficially your championship winner. Mohamed Ibrahim comes in P4 in really, really tense circumstances. Alex Young, let's go over to you. We'll talk to the race winner firstly, Kalen Chin, and then maybe we'll work our way down to the championship winner.
Kalen, what a great drive. That was such a good drive. You had pressure all the way from the very first lap of the race to the end. Come on, take us through it.
Oh my god, I'm just lost for words. That was such a hard race. Making my way through the field and then passing and overtaking everyone and then holding off Luke and Josh toward the end. That was just... oh, that was so hard, but I managed to get the win, and that was, I mean, a little luck was involved with Josh and Alif coming together on the last lap, but wow. Oh, that was hard, holding them off, but...
You had to make the move, and you did the move great on the last lap. That was a clean move, well done. Alif was on the limit with the incident points, so I don't think he fought too hard. But yeah, you could see the pressure. Wow, driving these cars for that full 30 minutes looked really tough.
Yeah, I'm sweating right now. I'm not sure if you can see by the camera, but I am like, my shirt is full on wet. I was like, the last few corners, the tires were gone. I was like praying, keep it on the track. And so that's why Josh caught up so much in the last sector, but yeah. Wow, that was such a tense race. Ending the season off on a win, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that one.
Congratulations, man. We enjoyed watching it. Great win.
Thank you.
All right, and it's over to Des to walk us through our unofficial results from race 2.
Well, this was a terrific race. Kalen Chin picks his first win of the season for BlackWolf. He's the winner by 0.2 of a second from Josh Purwin. A valiant effort from the BlackArts Racing racer. No doubt we'll talk to Josh later. He couldn't have tried harder. Mohammed Ibrahim actually eased himself up into P3 ahead of Dominic Ang in P4. Terrific for the Stratos Motorsports racer. Dominic, his best result. Luke Bannister up and down into P5. Inigo Anton having an eventful race in P6 ahead of Nasi, Joaquim Garrido, Naki Baslam. He had that early incident to put him out of things, but Chelly, a late incident, put him down to P10. Alif dropped down to P11 because of that drive-through. Josh Thomas also a late incident. It was really, really tense. And poor old Alif, Bocelli and Thomas were victims. Points for Arif, Dan Martin and Ivan Vantagiato. The winner is Kalen Chin though, but the ultimate winner will be Mohammed Ibrahim.
Thank you, Des. We said anything could happen. I think a lot of things did happen. We have so much to unpack, so many what ifs. And you could see on Josh Purwin's face that camera as he crossed the line, he knew that he wanted that what if moment to happen. We'll get into that analysis, all of that coming your way right after this break.
When I switched to Pro Mileage, I got 47% of savings.
I paid 790 for it. Compared to any other insurer, the cheapest was 1,290. Pro Mileage was the only one that gave me 5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper.
My Volvo XC40 1 year premium 6,000 over ringgit. Then I start taking Pro Mileage. I say, huh? 3,200 plus ringgit.
Claim went through pretty fast. I got my car back pretty quickly as well.
Called them about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think within 1 hour it came.
as we are underway.
And that's a good start there from Inigo Anton.
So being a part of E1 has been life-changing for me.
It's been a unique season, I guess.
It's been a privilege to be part of E1 this year. I definitely started out on a high.
It's been super fun this season. It's been a great journey. It's been a great joy to just drive in every single round.
Jumping into a new sim for me, it was a challenge I was looking forward to.
My journey throughout E1 has been a very roller coaster ride.
So my season's been quite disappointing.
There's been lots of highs, lots of lows as well.
I've been taken out in 6 out of 7 rounds.
Had a few rough rounds, especially with the over round.
Not really knowing much about iRacing and working with my teammate, which went the other way.
I had a good round at Charlotte. That was the only round I didn't get taken out. I was really happy with my result there.
This season especially, it's taught me a lot of things.
It's amazing that I could be able to continue honing my skills while I'm at home and to always prepare me and set me up for real life racing.
Very proud to be where I am now.
Extremely grateful to be a part of this championship again.
Firstly, I'd like to thank all my fans who have been supporting me. My parents for always been supportive. Our team manager, Mark Goddard. Oi for giving us all the good setups and strategy. Joaquin for always being such a good teammate, and hopefully I made you guys proud.
Massive shout out to BlackArts Racing for supporting me for another season. Nazir Asman for engineering us every race. To Luke, who's been putting in the effort every round.
I definitely want to thank Josh for inviting me to the race, as well as that, definitely thanks to BlackArts Racing for inviting me to their team.
Thank you to Stratos Motorsports. I'm really honored to be able to represent them in this top tier championship.
I just got to thank the team for helping this season, Alex for giving me the call.
Thanks again to Paul and Wei Liang from Safehouse, and awesome to have Joshua as a teammate this season as well.
Obviously my parents, I can't really describe how much I appreciate it. Marcus Zapoli, who have been pretty supportive of me as well, and Ricardo for competing in E1. Daniel and BlackWolf Racing as well.
Big thank you to Team Flash. They have been supporting me even when we had the negative results, something which I really cherish and I'm really thankful for.
Big thanks to everyone involved with the championship.
The team behind the whole thing, Alex, EGG, Astro.
They've done such an amazing job.
Yeah, without them, it wouldn't be such a good championship.
Some lovely words there from all of our drivers, especially to the unsung heroes of the E1 Championship, all of the members involved in all of the teams. So from all of us as well, thank you for all of your hard work. We've just wrapped up race 2, the final race ever of season 2 in the E1 Championship. And our team right now is working really hard to calculate all of the points. All of the action tonight has been brought to you by our sponsors, Evo Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage. Make sure to check out their website to find out how you can save up to 40% off your next car insurance renewal. Now, Alex, I was saying just before we went to the commercial break, there's a lot of what ifs.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of what ifs going into a championship. And this kind of reminded me of Lewis Hamilton's first ever championship win in Interlagos. You know, where they were calculating what was going on. One driver had to win. He had to finish in 7th.
Yeah.
But Josh knew that he didn't have enough points at the end of it.
Well, I've worked with Josh before. He's one of these sim drivers who can do multiple tasks while still driving. So he'd have been calculating the points as he drives along. I can't even calculate the points when I'm not driving, and he'd have been calculating the points while I was driving. So he'd know the situation. Of course, there are going to be some protests now. Race control is going to have to look at that. So bear with us as we rack up the points. But yeah, incidents all the way, tense, really tense. My heart was beating the whole way through the race because you never really know what's going to happen. And of course, because these cars are so sensitive, the slightest touch just puts them off the track.
And as a driver, when you feel like you've lost the championship off the basis of luck and luck alone, because there were drive-throughs, there were people spinning out, there were accidents, and you knew that and Josh knew that every time one of those things happened, his chances of winning the championship diminished. Does that add to the frustration?
No, not at all. Luck comes into it maybe in one lap or in one race. It doesn't come into it over a season. You also have to put yourself in the right positions not to get hit. You have to play the odds. It's like high-speed, not chess, high-speed poker. You need to play the odds, and you need to look at the situation sometimes. Go, oh, okay, the risk is worth it. I'm going to go. Sometimes it's not worth it. You have to hold back, and you have to do it with this championship at the moment because the cars are so sensitive. And there's plenty of net code with iRacing, so we have to be careful for that.
Well, one of the drivers that did play his theoretical poker hand right tonight was Dominic Ang, who actually had the best result of any race so far this season in P4. Dominic, P4, walk us through that race. Great job.
Oh, thanks, hey Daniel. Yeah, I think at the start I wanted to just get a good start away from the guys, but I think in the end my pace wasn't as quick as all the other guys, so I just keep my. Sorry?
Sorry, I was just going to say your pace actually looked really good. I think this whole season we've been impressed how you've been getting better and better, but just when the tires started going off, your pace disappeared a bit more than everyone else.
Yeah, the other guys are still better at managing, so I tried my best to just manage, so I didn't want to fight too much with the other guys, so I just to keep my car and keep my driving consistent, so just keep my position. So luckily in the end I think they had some drive-through, that's why I managed to gain a few more positions at the end.
Okay, I mean, have to remember you're a real-life driver, you're not a sim driver, and to see you go so quick is very, very impressive.
Yeah, quite happy because we still want to score points for the team championship, so hopefully we get third for Team Stratos.
Well done.
Well, we'll find out very soon where Stratos finished. Great job, Dominic.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, up next, we've got time to speak to Luke Bannister, the Australian, who had a very strong start, I would say, to race 2. Luke, ultimately, you were up the front and something happened and you fell down the order. Please walk us through exactly what happened.
I think it was on the second lap after I pit. I was battling with Kalen, and then that allowed Alif to catch up. And then we were side by side going into Maggots, and then I thought he was a little bit away from how far left he could have been, but there was a bit of netcode as well, so a bit of a racing incident, and then so meant I ended up a bit down the order.
But the pace was really, really strong for the first half of the race. I mean, you were really there for a P2 finish.
Yeah, I think I was able to keep up. I think on the first few laps, I was just kind of sitting behind Inigo and Kalen. I didn't want to risk anything like that, just sit behind, wait for the end of the race, and then in that second stint, I kind of went for the move with Kalen, and then it was a shame that it went the way it did, because trying to catch back up, I could see that I had the best pace on the track at that time, even though some people were battling, some people were saving tyres, stuff like that, but the pace was definitely there to have a good battle for the lead.
Well, you've shown a lot of potential in Season 2, and as we wrap up the season, tell us what your highlight was.
I think round 1 was definitely good, obviously starting off good. But yeah, there was good battles and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully look forward to maybe doing it again and having a good time again.
Yeah, congratulations, and hopefully see you on the grid next season. Thanks, Luke.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Alex, I think one last interview. Let's speak to Riccardo Bocelli.
Yeah, Riccardo had good pace, didn't he? He showed
did.
great pace the whole week. Sorry, the whole night. I'm so used to saying weekend. I think he had a drive-through just at the end. Incident points. Riccardo, talk us through your race. You had some good pace.
Yeah, the pace was there. I'm pretty happy with the race. Just had a snap of oversteer the last corner. Had the last incident point give me the penalty, but otherwise setup was great. Pace was there, and I'm pretty happy with the result.
Tell us what it's like to drive these cars, and I mean, particularly in the race. We've been talking about tire wear, but I love when the camera comes onto you because it looks like you're battling the steering wheel more than anybody else. I mean, that steering wheel looks like it's on max force feedback. What's it like driving these cars?
Yeah, this car is unbelievably fast. I'm using a direct drive, and I like to have it at like pretty much max force. So the strength I have with this wheel is unbelievably high. That's why I get really tired as well. But it was so fun to drive today. The car was great. We had to manage the tires as well, because tire management is really important with these cars. And yeah, I'm very, very happy. I had a lot of fun, and yeah, just very happy with it.
Awesome, well done. Yeah,
Thank
hopefully
you.
see you back next year.
Yep.
Okay. Highlights? Are the highlights ready?
Highlights ready? I think I'll talk to Inigo Anton.
Oh, Inigo. We got time for one more interview. Excuse me, guys.
No worries.
No worries. We'll be able to hear you very soon while we get you up.
Yeah. Inigo, you look good pace. I have to admit, even though I'm neutral, I was hoping you were going to win your first race of B1 season.
You know what? Yeah. For some
pace.
reason, we are struggling with understeer, mostly in the high-speed corners, like in Cops and Maggots and Beckett's. And we tried to fix that for the second race, but in the pits, though, the tires, I changed tires twice, so it added another 6 seconds for these. That's why it dropped me out of the podium's position. So yeah,
Oh dear, that's such a shame. Well, hopefully next season you'll get that win.
Hey, Inigo, we've got you up on screen. If you could try turn on your camera, we can get you to give a final thank you to everybody that's supporting you. I think when we look back at Season 2, particularly on our Facebook live stream, you have single-handedly gotten the most support by anyone in the comments section. So do you have any kind of final words to wrap up the season and the support you've received?
Well, I just want to say thank you again so much for all the support, all the past 3 seasons, and in everything I do. It's just, the support's been incredible, and you know, I'm thankful every day for it. And I hope you always just continue to support me. It really boosts my motivation, and hopefully next time I'll keep on doing better and better, so I can get you guys that win, hopefully.
It'll come. All right, thanks, Inigo. Congratulations once again. A really, really good Season 2. All right, let's go straight to the highlights, Alex.
Okay, so race 2, reverse grid, and then rolling start, so everyone go off. Dominic Ang with a great start. Anton went from P4 to P2, and then this for the lead, but he couldn't run away. Luke Bannister was there, and they swapped positions with Kalen Chin almost every lap, these three. It was a great battle to watch between Kalen Chin, Bannister, and Anton. But then after the pit stops, you could see this battle continued between Bannister and Chin. Then this happened. Netcode, unfortunate for Bannister, put him off. He would recover to P5. But then a Leaf got him to the lead, but you could see he was struggling with tire wear at the end. On the very last lap of the race, Kalen Chin down the inside, beautifully done. Josh Perwin followed him through, but that put a Leaf off, and that would drop him down to the tail of the field. And Perwin would manage to follow over the line Kalen, and Kalen will take his first win of Season 2.
And this final result is brought to you by Evo Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage. Kalen Chin, BlackWolf Racing, picks up 50 points. Josh Perwin, 40 points. Probably won't be enough. We'll confirm that in a moment, because Mohammed Ibrahim for Flash picked up 32 points for P3. Great recovery drive from Ibrahim. Dominic Ang, best results of the season for the Stratos Motorsport racer, 26 points. Luke Bannister, another strong showing from the Aussie. BlackArts Racing really have been competitive in every round this season. Inigo Anton, another top 6 place for the GT Radial Eurasia Philippines racer, 20 points for him. Miko Nasi hasn't really been at the top of the podium, but always competitive for Safehouse. Joaquim Garrido, again, another top 10 finish for Joaquim. He's a youngster. We'll see a lot more of Joaquim, I think. Naqib Aslam, an early problem for him meant that he could never get better than P9. And the fastest lap for Alif Hamilton for Flash Motorsports, but only P10 for him, and he's only just going to hold on to P3 in the overall championship standings. Overall, right, let's just take you through what today brought us. 92 points for Mohammed Ibrahim. That will confirm him the title. A brave effort from Josh Perwin. A P2 for 88. Kalen Chin picks up 70 points. That's a fine effort. Alif, always competitive with 46. Today, Naqib, 42, despite that disappointment in the second race. Josh Sommers, again competitive for Safehouse with 36. 34 each for Dominic Ang, Inigo Anton, and Luke Bannister. Good results for them. And a 32 points haul for Joaquim Garrido.
All right, thank you, Des. We've just announced the overall round winner for round 8. Mohammed Ibrahim winning his second round of Season 2. And we are about to announce the winner overall of Season 2 in both the Drivers and the Teams Championship, Season 2 E1 Championship. But first, Let's take a look at all of the highlights all the way from round 1 through to round 7.
Race number 1 is underway.
He's been contacted around by Josh Thomas.
Mohammed Ibrahim has taken race number 1. We are underway. And Arif Azmi, there's a crash already. Massey is taken out. Luke Bannister takes the victory. Mohammed Ibrahim has got away to a terrific start. No, Ali has got through it. Ibrahim, second of the season.
Whoa, John gets flipped off. Whoa, big accident.
Ibrahim
scored.
Whoa, look at that. Ali from Perwin. Inigo Anton is the winner. And Ibrahim gets us underway. Yes, Arif Azmi is the latest man to go into the race lead.
Anton has actually smacked the inside wall. Ibrahim is in the wall at turn 2. Bannister spun in the middle of the field. Naqib leads for the first time.
Naqib Aslan take the victory.
And that's another great start for Ibrahim.
8 seconds to go, Naqib. Mohammed Ibrahim, 4th victory of this season. Aaron Lim off to a good start.
Oh, that's a BlackArts car involved. Josh actually takes the lead back. Oh my word. A very similar accident.
Josh Berwin takes the victory. The start from Mohammed Ibrahim is terrific.
Spot 98 vibes intensifies here.
Ibrahim comes through to take the checkered flag. And Joaquim Garrido gets a good start. Well, Ibrahim has got himself up into P2 to win double for Mohammed Ibrahim.
Oh, that's already an accident. Alif takes the lead, and Naqib takes the lead back. He takes the lead on the final lap of the race.
Muhammad Ali is going to win his first race.
Oh, and that's another start like an accident. Luke Bannister takes the lead here. Bannister actually hit the back of Alif. Ibrahim has actually taken the lead. It is going to be Ibrahim who takes race 2. We're underway here at Monza. Oh, big accident for the back. Naqib is going to take the lead.
Naqib there slots back in the second position. Naqib Aslan, he slipstream through the second corner.
Naqib is taking his second victory of the season. Oh, that's a big accident already, and Garrido's out. Perwin's out of the race. Oh, that car's flipped over and further behind. There's more mayhem.
Ibrahim's getting a good run on all of them, and he's going to end up in P2. Ibrahim leads for the first time.
Ibrahim comes across the line and takes victory.
So they were all the oohs of the season. Let's talk you through the numbers. Luke Bannister, the best on round number 1, 44 points for him, and his BlackArts Racing colleague Josh Perwin in P2. Mohammed Ibrahim really sped to the top for Team Flash. 57 out of 59 points for him in round 2. 91 points to 66, his lead over Josh Perwin, and he kept that lead 106 to 88 in round 3, but it was a poor round for Ibrahim, and we saw Mohammed Ali begin to make something of a charge. 50-point weekend for Naqib Aslan. Ibrahim back in the points with 48 apiece alongside Josh Perwin in round 4. And these two were pulling away at the top into round 5. This is where we saw Miko Nasi post his first win of the season, and Ali for securing his place in P2. But it was Ibrahim and Josh Perwin again pulling away. Josh closing into the lead and eventually taking the lead with, despite a 57-point weekend for Mohammed Alif, it was Perwin who was in P1. Then Ibrahim retook P1 after round 7, and they were the positions going into the final round 8 that we've just seen. And you take the points off, they were the top 5. And now, with round 8, we've done the permutations. These are the top 10 in reverse order. Dominic Ang, 3 figures for Dominic Ang. Terrific stuff for Dominic, 34 points for him here. 9th position, Inigo Anton from the Philippines, just 1 point shy of 150 points. Miko Nasi, 168 points, just 6 points shy of debutant Josh Thomas in P7. And Luke Bannister, a very, very good debut season, 191 points. That takes us into the top 5 and the money round. Kalen Chin, 5th in the overall title. That victory, agonizingly just 4 points short of Naqib Aslan, who finishes 4th. The season 0 champion finishes in P4 in season 2. We'll pick up the money, but now we're into the top 3. In the top P3 are Muhammad Alif, the defending champion, 246 points. He had problems in getting connectivity at the start of the day, but was very competitive right to the end. Alex Young, let's get the thoughts of Alif Hamilton.
Okay, Alif, third place. I know you're going to be disappointed with what happened in race 2, but I think you have to say, after the way the season started, P3 is pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, oh, that's my parents, sorry. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, it could have been better. I feel, you know, a lot of things didn't really go our way. But yeah, I'm pleased with the result. I'm not sure where we finished in the teams. I hope we won it. But yeah, I mean, just hats off to Josh and Ibrahim, who did an amazing job. And yeah, not quite the iRacing specialist, but almost there.
Wow, no, fantastic result nonetheless.
Thank you. Cheers.
Great stuff from Muhammad Alif. P3 for him. Now then, our top two. We knew who they were going to be going into this final round, and this is how they finished. Second place goes to Josh Perwin. 306 points for Josh Perwin. First place, the champion, goes to Muhammad Ibrahim. 322 points for Ibrahim. He will be the Season 2 champion, despite the most sterling and brave efforts from Josh Perwin. Alex, let's talk to the guys.
Wow, Josh, if you could tilt your camera up just a little bit, but congrats on P2. You gave it your best shot, but we could see after race 2 you knew you hadn't done quite enough. But you want to talk us through what you're feeling?
I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest, because I've been taken, I think, in 7 out of 8 rounds this season, so I've been trying my best, but unfortunately it was not enough. So congrats to Ibrahim on the championship. He was clearly the fastest driver all season. Tried our best, but it wasn't enough, unfortunately. Definitely gave it a big crack on the last lap, but and the last whole last race, but yeah, it's what it is.
Okay, never mind. Well done, congrats on P2. And we have to talk to our champion now, and that is Muhammad Ibrahim from India and Team Flash. Ibrahim, fantastic result. You rode such a high-pressured race, and you still managed to come through with the championship.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just thankful to Allah, you know, that is the only thing, and I'm just thankful to God, you know, the only thing. Because the race was absolutely a horrible race for me, you know, I mean, oof, I was in the gravel like 10 times in the race, you know. And I was 2 incident points away to getting a drive through, you know, so it was an absolutely terrible race for me.
Oh, what pressure. Do you mind just putting your camera up a bit? We just don't quite see you at the top of your head. If you just point up a bit, that's perfect.
Yep,
yeah,
perfect.
I can see you're sweaty, but you've made it, man. Finally, you've been championship. You know, you've had some tough things thrown your way this season. You know, clearly the fastest driver, especially in qualifying. But wow, fantastic! Hats off to you. I mean, what's it mean to you to be E1 champion?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I've been working hard for this for the last like 2 and a bit months. So yeah, this means a lot, you know. So it's 2 months worth of hard work and effort.
So of all the dominating rounds that you've had so far this season, what was a standout race for you?
Standout race. I don't actually remember.
There were just too many.
I would say Canada was pretty good. Then, and yeah, and even the Lotus 49 race was pretty good as well.
Well, Ibrahim, you've gone from strength to strength this season, even in the face of a lot of challenges. You've managed to come out on top with some mega raw pace. So from all of us here, congratulations. Really, really good drive.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. You know, I really would like to thank the Daniel Woodruff, Alex Young, and everybody who's been part of the championship. You know, the other commentators, absolutely everyone. You know, everyone like working, you know, just to make it possible. You know, to set up the championship, and you know, just everyone. You know, I would like to thank everyone, because without a single person, the championship wouldn't be possible. Absolutely. So I'd like to thank you all.
Absolutely, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ibrahim.
EGG.
All right. So the congratulations will not stop there, because while we've announced the Drivers' Championship winner, Des, you're going to walk us through our Team Championship winners.
Indeed, these final results brought to you by Evo Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage. And the team results. Well, we go from 10 to 1. Eracing Icons 17 points, Slipstream 93, Team EGG largely thanks to Aaron Lim 94 points, good performance. Apex Eracing with Arif Azmi and Freddie Ang accumulating 119. The Filipinos of GT Radial Eurasia P6, Joaquim Garrido and Inigo Anton 224 points. Now anything over 300 points is seriously impressive. Kalen Chin, Ricardo Bocelli, or Kalen and a number of other partners, but Bocelli end of the season for BlackWolf in Team 5. Safehouse with Miko Nassi and Josh Thomas, a really secure performance in Team 4. There's money on the cards for them. Stratos Motorsports with Nakib and Dominic Ang. Dominic certainly contributing to that 8-point lead over Safehouse at the end of the season. And then BlackArts Racing 508 points with Josh Perwin and Luke Bannister. Both were terrific competitors throughout the season. But our champions are Team Flash with a mammoth score of 587 team points, and they will pick up the $4,000 first prize.
Gentlemen, Ibrahim and Alif, you guys are also the team championship winners of E1 Season 2. Alif, what does this mean to you and the team? I mean, you've been with Flash for the longest, and to walk away with another championship win, what does it mean for everybody that's involved?
2-2. This Team Flash's second championship, and we've won it again. I mean, that just shows how high of a caliber the team is. And I mean, of course, I have to thank all my teammates, Mark, Renkai, we got Joseph, we got Ryan as well, who's all managing all these background things, as well as Ibrahim. And I think without him, we wouldn't have been able to claw this championship lead. And also to the other teams, I think they put a very, very strong fight towards the end. You got the BlackArts, you got Stratos really making a comeback. So yeah, feels good to come back again as champions.
Awesome. And Ibrahim, Team Flash is a new team for you, and to win it outright coming into a brand new environment. Any final words to all of the teammates?
Yeah, I would like to say a big thank you to Mark. Mark is the only guy, Mark and Alif basically. Because without Mark and Alif, I would never ever been with Team Flash. So basically, it's all down to them. They got the team together basically. So I would like to thank them. Then I would like to thank Joseph. I would like to thank Ryan and basically everyone in Team Flash. Because without all of them, we would not be successful.
Awesome. Congratulations once again, guys, and hopefully see you on the grid next season.
Awesome.
So congratulations to all of our winning teams and drivers, and don't forget that besides the bragging rights, besides the cash, our drivers and particularly our teams are going to be walking away with some pretty cool silverware, or goldware I should say, and really putting the wear in wear, because these are real helmets that we have customized into trophies for our top 3 teams. So this golden helmet going straight to all of the team members involved at Team Flash. That's really, really awesome. So we are about to wrap Season 2 of the E1 Championship, and before I do, Alex, any final words for what is a stonker of a season?
Well, thank you. Great racing. I've really enjoyed the racing today. That was fantastic. Some excellent flights, especially for the lead, and of course the tension with the title protagonists going at it. It's been another great season, and we'll be back with another season next year.
Awesome. And to the gents in the commentary box, you guys aren't off the hook yet. Any final words before we head off? Amo, we'll start with you.
Yeah, it's been an absolutely great season, and it's a season with a difference, to be honest, because we not only did a completely different car, completely different sim, we also a variety of cars and circuits that we have never visited in other games before, like in Race Room, for example. We got the Indianapolis 500, well, in this case, it was the Indianapolis 200 with the IR 18s, and that was a crazy race, one of the longest races we ever had on the championship. And then the Lotus 49s around Monza just a couple of weeks ago. So it's absolutely crazy that we have encompassed everything under the sun to put it as a completely different championship this season.
Des, what about you?
Well,
any
firstly,
final words?
I was very relieved that Mohammed Ibrahim was wearing shorts. That was a real relief for us all. But also, I love the racing. I love Monza. I thought the Lotus and the old classics cars around the circuit, the oval, was just fabulous. I wasn't in the commentary box. I was watching at home because it was in isolation. But that was great entertainment. It's been great entertainment, and it took us down to the final corner of the final race of the season. And you can't ask more from a championship.
That's right, Des. Season 2 has had everything we've asked for. We knew it would go down to the wire, and indeed it did. It had a little bit of everything. It had ovals, it had rovals, it had legendary circuits, and it had loads of crashes, politics, controversy galore. So for the final time this season, that's all we have for tonight. My special thanks to all of the teams, the drivers, all of you watching the show, everybody that's involved in making this happen, the EGG Network, the E1 Championship team, Alex, Des, and Amo for always showing up and putting on a very, very good show. From me for the last time, thank you very much, and I hope to see you all next season. Stay safe and good night.
Congratulations to the champions and runner-ups of E1 Championship Season 2. After 8 weeks and 16 races from Interlagos all the way to Silverstone today, we have witnessed thrilling races, plenty of action, and possibly even some heartbreak. Now, top honors to Team Flash for a dominant performance throughout the season and being our very first 2-time E1 Championship team. Thank you for being a part of an amazing season of racing here on E1 Championship. I'm Amanda Andrea, and I will see you next time.